The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Psychiatric testing ordered for accused statue vandal. People convicted of violating emergency orders can now apply for expungement. And while vaccine supplies are running low, 57,000 more doses of Pfizer expected next month. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. And throughout the morning, we'll be talking about what's in the news in the country. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping at the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, a man accused of trespassing on government house grounds and causing $2,000 in damage to the statue of Christopher Columbus has been ordered to undergo psychiatric testing. However, Chevandes Barrington Smith appeared before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt to be arraigned on charges of causing damage and trespassing, but the court deferred the arraignment until the magistrate gets a report on whether Smith is fit to plead. Ferguson Pratt making her decision after Smith's mother telling the court that he has been having episodes of strange behavior since 2019. The magistrate remanded Smith to prison because Sandlands Rehabilitation Center is not accepting any new admissions. As a result, doctors from SRC will visit Smith at the prison to perform the evaluation. The magistrate said the 37-year-old would be moved to SRC if there are any vacancies. Smith, who appeared to understand the proceedings yesterday, insisted that, quote, "there is nothing wrong with me." He said that he moved out of his mother's home because she kept saying that he was crazy. He asked, quote, "how could a crazy person travel?" According to Smith, he lived on the streets of Miami without getting into any trouble prior to his deportation. Smith claimed that he had spoken to the late Dr. Miles Monroe about his purpose. His attorney, Donna Major, asked that he not be kept in the maximum security unit. Major said that she was concerned that he's in the general populace, that something might happen. Ferguson Pratt said that it would be presumptuous of her to tell the prison commissioner where to house Smith, who will next appear in court on November 15th. Chairman of the Rehabilitation of Offenders Committee, Paul Farquharson, says that people can now apply to have breaches of the emergency orders expunged from their criminal records. At a press conference yesterday, he announced that the national security, that this was announced by national security, and that the matters would be brought before the committee almost immediately. The Bahamas has been under a state of emergency since it confirmed its first COVID-19 case in March 2020. Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville says that the government plans to end the state of emergency next month, and regulations to govern the pandemic will be forthcoming shortly. He says they're working diligently to end the emergency regulations that are currently in place. Health Minister Darville also saying the COVID-19 outbreak in Inagua has had nothing to do with the recent detention of hundreds of Haitian migrants on the island. He said the outbreak is believed to be linked to a resident who traveled to New Providence before returning to the island. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism Chester Cooper says that the government is not in the position to end the international travel health visa yet. While in opposition, the PLP vowed to end the travel health visa for Bahamians. Not long after taking office last month, it eliminated the domestic travel health visa and waived the cost of the international travel health visa for Bahamians. When asked for a timeline yesterday, Cooper said that they're not at the point yet where they are minded to eliminate the international element of the travel visa, as they're monitoring it in a responsible way to determine the timeline for doing so, but that they have some exciting initiatives in terms of digitization. Overseas, the U.S. will reopen its land borders to non-essential travel next month, ending a 19-month freeze due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as the country moves to require all international visitors to be vaccinated against the coronavirus. Vehicle, rail, and ferry travel between the U.S. and Canada and Mexico has been largely restricted to essential travel such as trade since the earliest days of the pandemic. The new rules to be announced today will allow fully vaccinated foreign nationals to enter the U.S. regardless of the reason for travel, starting in early November, when a similar easing of restrictions is set to kick in for air travel into the country. By mid-January, even essential travelers seeking to enter the U.S., like truck drivers, will need to be fully vaccinated. Senior administration officials previewing the new policy late Tuesday on the condition of anonymity. Both Mexico and Canada have pressed the U.S. for months to ease restrictions on travel that have separated families and curtailed leisure trips since the onset of the pandemic. The latest move follows last month's announcement that the U.S. will end country-based travel bans for air travel and instead require vaccination for foreign nationals seeking to enter by plane. And Russia today reporting another record of daily coronavirus deaths amid a slow vaccination rate and authorities' reluctance to tighten restrictions. The government coronavirus task force reporting 984 coronavirus deaths over the past 24 hours. That's the pandemic's new high there. The country has repeatedly marked record daily death tolls over the past few weeks as infections soared to near all-time highs, with 28,717 confirmed new cases reported Wednesday alone. The Kremlin has attributed the mounting contagion and deaths to a laggard vaccination rate. The prime minister there saying yesterday that about 43 million Russians, or about 29% of the country's nearly 146 million people, were fully vaccinated. President Vladimir Putin has emphasized the need to speed up the vaccination rate, but he has also cautioned against forcing people to get the shots by applying administrative pressure. Experts have attributed the slow pace of vaccination to widespread vaccine skepticism and disinformation about COVID-19 vaccines. In sports, 39 members of the Bahamas Roadmasters Running Club took part in the virtual running of the 125th Boston Marathon over the weekend. After 18 weeks of intense training, runners lined up at the Cable Beach police station and ran along the Cable Beach Strip, taking a few loops on a structured course to complete the required 26.2 miles. The race got underway at 2 a.m. Sunday morning. The top Bahamian finisher, Michael Cunningham, crossing the line in 4:29.55. Bahamas Roadmasters president Marcel Major was the club's second finisher, crossing the line in 4:31.32. Douglas Storr, third, finishing 4:34.08. The top woman, Anastasia Turnquest, crossing the finish line 5:19.14. Leah Roll, second, 5:30.16. And Linda Burrows, third, 5:31.29. Out of the 39 club participants, about 10 members over the age of 60 participated and completed the race. Also, over 10 first-time marathon runners in the club participated and completed the race as well. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, it's hard to know where Kyrie Irving is getting his vaccination information from. Kyrie skipping the jab and benching himself for now. The Nets are paying Irving $34 million per year to blend with Kevin Durant and James Harden, two of the best players in the game. But Irving can stay glued to his couch and still collect $16 million or so. That's because the Nets general manager Sean Marks and the owner together decided the half a loaf approach wasn't worth the disruption there. Irving has ducked questions about whether he was vaccinated, saying 3 weeks ago in a Zoom interview with reporters that he just wanted to keep that information private. As the NBA struggles to get their players vaccinated for the upcoming season. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In weather for today, we've got the combination of an active surface trough near the southeast Bahamas and another across the northwest Bahamas, coupled with mid to upper level support. It will continue to generate pockets of unsettled weather over portions of the country today. Boaters and residents should be alert for possible waterspout or tornado activity. Beachgoers should exercise caution as there's a risk for rip currents along East Coast beaches. And residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should exercise caution due to possible flooding during heavy rainfall events today. For all areas, your forecast calls for variable cloudiness, very warm conditions, scattered showers, and the chance of isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Some showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. Small craft operators should exercise caution. In swells, small craft operators should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms across all areas. Winds easterly at 10 knots or less in the northwest and central Bahamas, northeasterly at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times in the southeastern islands. Seas 3 feet or less, but up to 7 feet in northeast to easterly swells. Temperatures today getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
People helping people to help themselves.
All right, watch this. The credit union of the Bahamas, drop card ain't got nothing on them. There's the plug.
People helping people to help themselves.
Don't believe me? Join the credit union and watch your money grow like Chef and Needle.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Yeah, go join one.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
More what? Stop that.
Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
Let me get my money there.
Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make.
Join
a credit union. Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. Then ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members the owner. Personalized service. Come and join the credit union and your choice will be the smartest. Credit unions are the smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796 on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
Good to be here.
Hope you're doing well.
Good.
Yeah,
Cannot complain.
that's excellent. The year
Will
is...
not complain.
Oh, that's good. That's good. At least one person.
God is good
One person's not complaining.
all the time.
That's great. Excellent. Got to be like you. All right. Hey, the year is fast flying by.
It sure has.
Halfway through this month. Only 2 months left.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, hey, we're going to have a great show today. A lot to talk about in the news, and you can join the conversation. We told you how. Coming up, we've got more weather and traffic, and throughout the morning, we'll be talking about what's in the news into business as well. So let's begin with just that. What's in the news? And in the news, we talked about this in depth yesterday about the vaccines, what's happening there. They are running low. They're definitely running low. We told you yesterday how they're going to stop offering first doses of certain ones and only second doses for others. And a lot of that's going to start this week into next week. So this will continue until we get another shipment. We spoke with the U.S. Embassy yesterday on the show, and they're saying that they're expecting that next month. But, of course, the exact date nobody can say right now. But here we are at this point.
And
again.
according to the article, another COVAX shipment was delayed and it might be expected next month too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So keep finding ourselves in these ebbs and flows. A lot of vaccine and then not so much. But
well, we were celebrating when we heard we were getting all these vaccines because we thought that it would take care of everyone.
No. Really?
But we stuck in.
You thought that it would?
People are stuck in first doses.
Yeah.
Well, no, that it was stretched to so everybody who got a first dose would get a second dose from that from all the shipments we got. But that wasn't the case.
Well,
some people only got a first dose.
Well, if you did, it might have been enough to cover the second doses of all the people up to that point back then. But then for anybody who wanted
No, but I didn't think we got anything extra since
then. No.
Got the big shipments.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you knew that wasn't going to be enough. We needed a whole lot more.
Well, we needed more to cover everybody.
Right.
But I thought we would have had enough distributed for people to get a first dose and a second. But that seems not to be the case.
But that sounds like everybody.
No, not everybody. Everybody who got a first dose would be able to come back for their second. But that doesn't seem to be the case.
I think that did happen. You don't think so?
Well, I mean, they're not getting the same, not even the same
Some won't
kind.
be able to going forward.
So if you got AstraZeneca, you might end up with Pfizer for the second shot.
Right. As of the 23rd, although I
Right.
think there might have been an update on this, but as of the 23rd, the second dose of AstraZeneca won't be offered. You'll have to get Pfizer instead.
Right. But will there be a lag in people getting their second dose because of this?
If these don't come by next month, definitely.
Then yes.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yep. So you see, they're stopping the first dose of Pfizer to
Right.
allow for people to get their second dose, and there's a short window
Right.
with that.
Right.
So,
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have to do that quickly.
Yeah.
Not a comfortable position to be in.
No.
Not a comfortable position at all. And then again, with Pfizer, you've got to act quickly.
Yeah.
Then we have to start all over. I think if you go past the time, you go past the 4 weeks, is it? Something like that.
Do you nullify the first shot?
I think so. I believe so. I mean, I believe that's what. Anyway, we get an expert to talk about that. But so it's, boy. But anyway, let's keep our fingers crossed that this gets here as quickly as possible. And it is amazing. You've got people in other parts of the world talking about third shots and fourth shots,
Yeah.
these boosters, and we can barely get people getting their first in some other parts of the world, including here.
Yeah.
So
But we've done better in terms of vaccinations
yeah,
in the last 3 months or so.
25%. Sure, it's great. It's better than zero.
Hesitancy has decreased, I think. No?
There's options, so the options, I'm sure that helped a lot
So,
with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're just people who are very vocal who will never ever do it.
That's true.
And they're very, very vocal for some reason.
But that's their gamble.
I hope they're that vocal about all the other things in life. You think?
I don't think
You think they are?
I don't think so.
It would be great if they could be.
People have to find a topic and hang
Like
on
crime.
to, and hang on to it.
Parenting.
No.
No? Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so that's happening. The other story that we talked a lot about yesterday, it was court day for the person who everybody seemed so chummy with, calling him Michael because he said his name was Michael the Archangel. Of course you knew that wasn't going to be his name.
I thought his name was Michael.
Everyone like Michael the Archangel, really? Yeah.
Anybody named Michael could just
Just add that
add
to it.
that to it.
Yeah. And Damien the Archangel too, right? Some of y'all will get that.
Wow.
Anyway, Artesia Dave was writing about this in today's NASA Guardian. A man accused of trespassing on government house grounds and causing $2,000 in damage. Only $2,000? That was only $2,000?
When I heard that yesterday, I was like, that statue ain't got no value. None whatsoever. Y'all thought it was important?
2,000?
Y'all thought that statue was important? Clearly it ain't. 0.
Good God. Anyway, causing $2,000 in damage to the statue of Christopher Columbus has been ordered to undergo psychiatric testing. However, help me with this name, Chester. I know I got it wrong before. Shavandazi? Is he named after the guy who...
Shivandes?
You think he's
Shivandes? I would say Shivandes.
Shivandes, yeah. Shivandes Barrington Smith, who's 37, appeared before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt to be arraigned on charges of causing damage and trespassing. But the court deferred the arraignment until the magistrate gets a report on whether Smith is fit to plead. Ferguson Pratt making her decision after Smith's mother told the court that he had been having episodes of strange behavior, in quotation marks there, since 2019. The magistrate remanded Smith to prison because Sandler's Rehabilitation Center, SRC, is not accepting any new admissions. As a result, doctors from SRC will visit Smith at the prison to perform the evaluation. The magistrate said Smith would be moved to SRC if there are any vacancies. Now, Smith, who appeared to understand the proceedings, insisted, quote, "There is nothing wrong with me." Smith said he moved out of his mother's home because she kept saying that he was crazy. He asked, quote, "How could a crazy person travel?"
No, it's the next statement that
Anyway, according to Smith, he lived on the streets of Miami without getting into any trouble prior to his deportation. Smith claimed that he had spoken to the late Dr. Miles Monroe about his purpose. His attorney, Donna Major, asked that he not be kept in maximum security. Major said that, quote, "I'm concerned that if he's in the general populace, something might occur." Ferguson Pratt said that it would be presumptuous of her to tell the prison commissioner where to house Smith, who will next appear in court on November 15th. Okay.
So was he saying he stayed out of trouble just until that time
Until he was deported?
that he was deported?
Yeah, apparently, I guess.
So the deportation was in trouble.
That's just
Okay.
immigration officials.
We don't know.
being meddlesome
We don't even know what happened for him to get picked up.
He was there illegally. Clearly.
Yeah, but it's not like they could have. I mean, many people are there illegally who don't just get
Who
picked
avoid-
up for no
I hear
reason.
you. That's an interesting point. Yeah. Huh. All right. What do you make of this, folks? Again, it was World Mental Health Day, October 10th, coincidentally. And a lot of people ignoring lots of signs in their family members,
Yeah.
and just throwing up their hands and praying and expecting things will get better. But we do need to be more active, right? Because sometimes it's a statue, sometimes it's a person that someone takes a sledgehammer to. And we need to be very careful. Are we too casual about this? I was telling my some of the folks here after the show yesterday, just about an hour after watching that, after it went viral on Saturday. I'm driving, and I see this guy walking at a very high rate of speed on Prince Charles Drive. I mean, like he's like in a big hurry, like he was doing the Boston Marathon thing, right? I'm like, where is he going? He crosses Prince Charles Drive with the swiftness. I mean, wow. And Roadrunner style. And then he stoops down as he crosses the road and picks up a mini boulder and just tosses it into the street. What the heck is this? And then he just speeds along his way. And I'm like, well, what's going on around here? And every few feet, you will encounter someone like that on the streets in New Providence.
Every few feet.
Yes, somebody who clearly has some challenges.
It's a bit much.
Oh, it's not. I wish.
Where you be at?
And it's clear that many of us are turning a blind eye to this. We ignore this, but it's getting worse. I remember being a teenager and looking around and saying, okay, but you knew the regulars.
Why
but
isn't
now it's much
Sandilands
worse.
taking in more people?
But can they just do that? Can they just, what are you doing? Like the
Well, if
pound,
you're-
round people up?
If you're a danger to yourself and society, clearly, if police were called for somebody throwing rocks into
Oh,
the
yeah, see,
road,
that's the thing. I didn't call the police, and I doubt anybody called.
well, see, you're part of the problem.
I was driving. And I had places
Yeah,
to
is
go.
that how- yeah.
But, people see these things and say, oh, that's that crazy boy. And they just go about their business.
That's true. That's true.
And as you heard, Sandlands has no space.
People say, I don't want to get involved.
That's his family's problem.
Yeah.
Sandlands has no space. Or not accepting admissions, at least. So this is here. We're getting worse. We don't like to talk about the mental health problems. We sadly focus on it maybe around World Mental Health Day. And
I
then that's
think
that.
we also chalk it up sometimes straight to drug use
Yeah.
and say that's a problem.
But then that too, what are we doing about that? That's just so well.
I don't know.
And it's also, was it the mental health issues that led you to the
drug
drugs?
use. Yeah.
But it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And people will say obesity and diabetes and high blood pressure are our biggest health concerns, but I suspect it's mental health problems. Even greater. Even greater. What say you, folks? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Again, people were cheering this action the other day because they have issues with this statue. But when that next person decides to smash up something that's beloved by all of us, what you going to do?
What's that? What's that thing?
I'm sure there's something. I'm sure there's something.
Oh.
I'm sure there's something. What are you going to do? Like I said it yesterday. Maybe somebody will have a beef with the Butlers and decide to smash up the bust of Milo Butler for some crazy, arbitrary reason.
That's worth.
Don't do it. But what are we going to do? We have a crisis here. We have a crisis. We really do. Let's hear what you have to say. Call in, text us, tweet us, Facebook us. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Glenn.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, some of us, we suffer silently with this condition. I remember some time ago there was a lady who used to stand with a folded newspaper on the corner, and she would be pointing it up at the sky. And, obviously there was a story behind that. And there was somebody some time ago who was just preaching on the corner of the streets, balance the budget. There's a story behind that. I think some of us are too proud to seek help when we realize it. And then the condition escalates. And then it spills over, and then we see things like this. So I think if we could pay a little more attention to the signs, because they're there, and as you stated earlier, it's escalating. That's a problem. So I think we need to look out for this and address it, nip it in the bud.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's read some of your messages. What? See, the COVID thing is causing some people to lose their minds. What is this message?
Well, that's true.
What is this message? Morning, if 8 million Chinese are exempt from taking the vaccine in America, what? And the makers and Congress and many, many more, why should I? What's happening? What did I miss here? What's the deal with this? You understand that text?
What does that mean?
You understand that?
Chinese Americans?
I don't know what they're talking about. Please send us more information and also tell us which part of the very dark part of Google you found that. Okay. Dwight and Chester, this, I don't know if we need to go there. This idiot? Clearly, this is somebody who needs help, right? So we don't need to do that. This person should be punished to the fullest extent of the law so that copycats would think twice before they attempt to duplicate this horrible and distasteful act. Who moved the barrier from Munnings Drive and who gave the orders?
Okay.
Well, clearly there are people around here who are functioning without any orders. They just do what they want to do, right? Is there really an investigation to find out who did this? Because again, that's something that a lot of people had a problem with. It happened unlawfully, and it's the removal of the barricade, and that's the end of that. People celebrating. Right. I think the Ministry of Work says they're going to fix the road so that you can travel on it safely. But is anybody going to check and try to find out who took it upon themselves to go and do this? That's the end of that story. And so this is a largely lawless little place here. Do what you want. Especially if most of us still have a problem with it.
Yeah.
All right. The real question is Sandlin suited to treating people with mental illness? Really? Is that the real question? What makes you think otherwise? This one says here the prison has no space either. They should have made space. What? Sandlin's? Okay. Interesting. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Is that me?
Hi. Good morning.
Hey, Godly David back in voice along with you and Chester, Dwight.
Hi.
Dwight, several things I want to say, but first I want to say, right, the gentleman who used to be in the street saying balance the budget, that gentleman was a wonderful teacher. He has a lot of people, lawyers, police, nurses, who he had taught. Also, he has some high position in the. He was right with what he was saying because the government people never used to try to balance the budget or talk about balancing the budget. But he was a highly educated person. He was working for the Ministry of Education. His name is Elred Penn. I used to sit with him. But what I want to say, right? Two things I want to say. First, those security at the government house, were they in the position in which they had supposed to be in? Who had placed them? Because if they were placed where they supposed to be, the gentleman wouldn't have been able to get up there to do what he had done. So I don't think they should charge him with trespassing. Somebody fell down on their duty. My other point is, right?
Regardless, it's trespassing.
Regardless?
Yeah, regardless.
Well, and you could go there to observe things and take pictures and stuff like that.
And people normally do that from outside the gate, right? You stand by the foot on right opposite the church there, and you take the picture. You don't need to enter the grounds.
My 2 points before I go. If you're not crazy, somebody has the prerogative to say you're crazy. If you're saying you're not crazy.
Would you know? Would you know? And that's what they say in the movies. Well, that's what crazy people say, that they're not crazy.
Well, anyhow, my last point is, right, I see you, with your above monologue with Chester, right? You should get into these neighborhoods and see how people live. You see the problems that are in these neighborhoods. The problem people are going through. They can slip at any minute. And, their mind are not, focused on what it should be focused on, for the simple reason that there are nothing, no job, no food, and stuff like that. And take a walk through these over-the-hill neighborhoods sometime, and you would change your perspective. Thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's take another call. 323-6232, 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Okay. Let's go back to the phone, the text line. This one says here, Truth of the matter is that we continue to not make space for anyone who is disabled in any way. Physical, mental, age disability, it's all left on the family to deal with. We need to do better for our differently able citizens. Okay, while that's true, but we do need family members and people close to these individuals to help make the state aware of these challenges, right? Sometimes we don't see. Sometimes we can't see. Sometimes we don't know that you're acting strangely, right? So people have to care. Other people have to notice as well.
I think it's an interesting point the person's making. Like, you send... It doesn't seem like anybody know what part of the prison he's going to be sent to, right? Is it not a danger to someone like that to send them to a prison with, possibly dangerous people, violent people, when their mental health is questionable? No? Yeah. The suggestion is that he should have gone to Sandlands.
Mm-hmm.
Why, if that's the suggestion, then he shouldn't be sent to prison.
Right.
Because he'll go to a place, even if it's not Sandlands, where you can understand how to deal with somebody whose mind may not
Will
be.
only make it much worse.
But if he's in a population with people who can't understand his mind and the things he might say or do, it puts him in a dangerous position.
It's got to be a better place.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you on that one. Yep. This is terrible. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Mr. Strachan, how you doing?
Doing well.
Stephen, Stephen Shakozy.
That's Chester.
Sure.
Oh, Chester. Okay, morning.
Morning.
Mr. Strachan, I hear the Prime Minister said that the cabinet going to decide whether they pull down that statue or whatever that is. Why the cabinet have to decide that?
As opposed to?
Huh?
As opposed to?
Just pull it down and drag it up by the garbage. I mean, let somebody yuck it down and take it to the garbage.
Who?
Huh?
Who should do that?
Anybody? I mean,
No.
huh?
No. What do you mean?
Why not?
What, I mean, what? Who should do it?
The government could get somebody to move
But
that
that's
thing.
what they have to decide, whether they're going to do that or fix it.
So you have to
tear
actually,
it down.
Okay.
I mean, but who's going to take it upon themselves if they don't decide?
Okay, let me ask you a question. So say some people in the cabinet say aye for it, and the majority, some say aye for it. So what happens there?
You're saying it shouldn't be a cabinet decision. They should just do it.
Yeah.
Who should do it?
The Prime Minister make a decision, take the thing.
Oh, so you want one man to make a decision in that regard, but for other things...
Yes, I mean...
No, that means you need to do the list of what things one man can make a decision on, and then
But
what
that deal?
list everybody needs to decide on.
Yeah, okay, that memory. Okay, but Mr. Strachan, let me ask you another question. If you just commit a crime or you just do something stupid and you possibility you can end up in jail, and the judge telling you crazy, you would accept that?
The judge didn't do that.
Okay, if the judge saying I can send you to Sandlands, you wouldn't do it? You wouldn't accept that?
What's the point that you're trying to make?
I'm trying to say, when you do something, the judge, agreeing that something might be wrong with you, yes, man, accept it because I might end up in jail. I ain't going to tell the judge, yes, judge, I got sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But Mr. Strachan, you look at, you have, I just want to say this. To Christopher Columbus statue, how should I ask this? You wanted to stay.
Oh, no, I don't. I agree with folks who say it should be in a museum. It shouldn't be there.
Or you can put it someplace so you can go look at it. I see.
But, you just want to mash it up. Just totally destroy it. We can't deny the history of this country.
Get rid of that history, because that history is so
No.
funny.
We
Some
could
people say
make-
he did, some people say he met people there, some people say
What?
he discovered it. That's confusing.
Everything is true. All of it. It was
All of it's
horrible. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
You can discover something that was there for... You can discover all kinds of things. You could discover something that you never knew before. We don't like the word, the semantics, but it's all true, and it did cause the death and destruction of millions of livelihoods, and it's all true. You can't hide from it. Don't hide from it.
Let me see so I can hang on. Mr. Jones, Mr. Straw, we have so many people we can replace that with. I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Educators, politicians, pastors, people who feed people. I mean, just a lot of people in this country that we could just say, thank God somebody started. Let's finish it. That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, it's hard how we be fighting.
We don't disagree with you.
Okay. Anyway, thank you, man.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be there, but yeah, we don't need to destroy it.
Should put a nice big statue of Darth Vader.
Or maybe we could stop the idol worshiping and not have a statue at all. But hey, there are all kinds of things that could be done. But yeah, we don't need to treat it like this. It is part of the history, and you can't deny it.
Yeah.
You've got to. People will pay great money to see. You know, at one time, the people actually had it in front of Government House. What? How could they? Yeah, can you imagine? But now we have it in this museum, and you can come and learn more about the good and the bad of Columbus and all the things that came since then, since 1492.
Right. It's going to end up in a museum. I mean,
where? Here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Don't hold your breath. People have been saying it, but you think it's going to happen?
I mean, what's the point of fixing it? That doesn't make no sense.
Oh, so you're going to put the broken up one?
Absolutely.
Well, that's part of the history.
That's part
too,
of the
right?
history of the statue. In 2021.
Yes. A man calling himself.
Michael the Archangel. Tore the hand and the leg off.
Yeah. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning to you and your co-host. How you doing this morning?
Good.
Doing well.
How you doing?
Excellent, gents. I agree with you, Dwight, on your co-host. I mean, hey, but take them down, put them in a museum. There's 3 statues: Christopher Columbus, the Queen, and Wood Rogers. I mean, come on. It's been how long now, Dwight? How much years?
More than
everybody saying the same thing over and over. As the gentleman said last night on the news, people been activists for now 30 years. Nothing has happened. Would you think, Dwight, and your co-host, would you think would those statues ever be removed in our time? I'm only asking.
Yeah, I think it could.
So I say, I say, do you think it's going to be moved anytime soon in our time?
Stranger things have happened. I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic that the world is changing so much, even the Bahamas, that people will say.
I don't know about the Queen and Woods, but Columbus definitely will not be there for a long time.
Okay. And right, one more thing I have to do. I don't want to tell you, of course, this morning. I want you to look into one thing for the persons this morning who have contract with Beaches and Park. Can you ask Mr. Barnaby to contact the people and find out when we get paid? Because in now 2 weeks into October, and we only get paid for September yet, and nobody's answering, nobody's saying anything.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll look into that.
Okay.
Oh, that's terrible.
Jeez. I should have. How were they getting paid on time before? Sounds like it. So.
Wow. Oh, boy. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
You know, Dwight, don't allow this conversation in respect to whether or not we're going to remove Christopher Columbus' statue to be dominated with ignorance. You know, that makes no sense. We have to understand that heritage tourism is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we never capitalize on heritage tourism in a meaningful way. You know, you have countries who are making billions of dollars off this thing by reenacting. Like you said earlier, you know, I stated on my Facebook page about 3 days ago that perhaps we could look at reenacting these things, getting these forts active, you know, because most of these people who are criticizing and saying let's do away with Columbus, who, by the way, placed us on the world map.
Yeah.
Many of these Bahamians, what do? Where do they go to experience other people's culture? And they take lavish vacation into these Scandinavian countries, enjoying their rich history and enjoying their heritage, their food, their culture.
Absolutely.
And we're saying now in the Bahamas we should just throw all of our own away.
Hypocrites.
What good madness is this?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, please, we're not going to allow this conversation to be dominated with ignorance. Those who don't know need to back off so we can have an intellectual debate as to where we're going to go going forward. You know, because this makes no sense. Now, that person who would have perpetrated that evil by decapitating that statue, by the way, just say, for example, someone now wants to partner with the Bahamas to do a documentary, and the statue is all decapitated. I mean, this nonsense, most of it is copycat. That's all they're doing. If you ask a lot of these people where Columbus was born, many of them don't even know. But yet they are, you know where the passion and the anger should be placed right now, right? Our anger should be placed on the former government for giving a selected few our treasure, our forts. That's behind it should be placed, because that is corruption.
Mm-hmm.
That is outright silliness. How could you take our natural resource, like the fort, and give it to a selected few to make millions of dollars off it? That one should be stopped, reviewed, and canceled, because hell will free is over before I allow a selected few to make millions of our forts while hiring a few, perhaps migrants, to clean it up. That makes no sense. And the Prime Minister rationale, the former Prime Minister rationale, listen to this. He is suggesting that the reason why he did it was because we cannot maintain those structures. What nonsense is this? We have trained 50 people.
Well, we'll get some updates on where things stand with that now. But yeah, definitely we're blowing it with that aspect of tourism. And as I said yesterday, we had a whole hour dedicated to that type of talk about the opportunities that we have blown. And as I said yesterday, I'm going to say it. I've been saying it and going to continue to say it. Had this happened anywhere else in the world, if the landing had been anywhere else, that would have been one of the biggest tourist attractions in the Western Hemisphere for that country. It would have, to this day, been something that everybody on this side of the planet and on the eastern side of the planet, they would have said, well, we've got to go to the site where the old world met the new world because it's amazing, and that's right. They have this all kinds of stuff going on there. Mm-hmm. Everyone else would have done this. What is up with us? What is the problem with us? Why aren't we thinking like that? And again, you don't hide from the horrible things that happened. People would come to an Arawak museum and learn the stories about how they met their demise at the hands of the Europeans. Yes, they would definitely do it. A slave museum, everything. People would do it.
We have a slave museum.
Yes, but on a grander scale, and we could do a lot more. And we could do it, and especially at the site, if it is in Salvador or Cat Island or wherever it is that you decide that you want to put it. I don't think it really has to be that accurate, but as long as it's somewhere near there, it's not too late. But we've blown it. We could have been 50, 100 years into this now, since tourism has become so popular, right?
Yeah.
It's not too late, but we cannot hide from this. Don't hide from this. Tell the truth. Tell everything. Tell the story. Tell it. The horrible parts, the good that came out of it. Mm-hmm. Tell the story. Let's take this call before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
I don't see, right? We talk about the human slave wanting the statue. Maybe they had a mental issue, because imagine the slaves in the United States commissioning a statue of Columbus, or supporting the erection of a statue of Columbus. Maybe, the many slaves that
well,
were
not too
bought.
many are hung up on that fact. The fact is that we have this here, and it's in a questionable place.
Right, if you can allow me to debate this thing, like everybody.
Who are you debating it with, though?
It, right? So okay then. We can agree that Columbus annihilated the population of Hispaniola, right? Can we agree on that?
It's very clear.
Right. So this man did so much evil, but we want to make money on this evil man, right? What about and then what about making money on cocaine? Cocaine is evil.
Oh, is that what it sounds like we're saying when we say we must talk about our history? Is that we want to make money off of evil man?
Okay, the history is the statue being demolished by a Bahamian, right? That's our history too. Why is the statue covered? Why don't we remove the statue? Yeah. The cover from the statue.
All right, I need to find out. Do you people listen to what we say? What do you hear when we talk? Because we're like, remove the statue. Absolutely. Yeah. But we need to put it somewhere else. Right. And we cannot hide from the fact of what happened, supposedly, October 12th, 1492, right here in the Bahamas. Yeah. That's all we're saying. We don't need to argue about crazy stuff. We're all in agreement. But are you hearing us? What's happening? Mr. Producer, are they getting, is there a translator that...
Yeah. Also, making money off of telling the history of a country or even the New World in general, is not the same as selling drugs.
And come on, where'd that come from? What is going on? Let's take a break. What do you think we said? Like a cocaine museum? Like we're in the 80s, the Bahamas was, oh boy, so come to the cocaine museum.
Now that'll make some money.
Come to the cocaine museum to see the Bahamas in the 80s.
You want to see what people really care about?
Yeah.
Don't tell that story.
Oh, that actually is a good idea. Anyway, we'll be back. Stay with us.
In 1492, Columbus lost his shoe. In 2021, he lost his foot on the hand. In 1492, Columbus lost his shoe. In 2021, one more leg. Big Saturday evening, Columbus lost his foot on the hand. Michael the Archangel almost bust a whole statue down. Where was the officer? He was nowhere to be found. Where he was, bro? He come out scratching the head and wondering what gone down. Woof, bang. Brown. Michael is a beast. Columbus leg and hand in pieces all over the ground. Y'all think Michael is played? Brown. He was a murderer. Brown. Old pedophile. Brown.
This is Broadway Radio.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley. The U.S. is lifting the pandemic freeze on its borders. New rules to be announced today will allow fully vaccinated foreign nationals into the U.S. regardless of the reason for travel. Now, these new rules only apply to legal entry to the U.S. The AP's Julie Walker.
Both Mexico and Canada have pressed the U.S. for months to ease restrictions on travel that have separated families and curtailed leisure trips since the onset of the pandemic. The move follows last month's announcement that the U.S. will end country-based travel bans for air travel for the vaccinated.
The nation will be able to pay its bills into December now that Congress has approved raising the debt limit for now. The AP's Mike Gracia reports the House gave final approval last night, but it wasn't pretty.
Before the party line vote, the acrimony between Democrats and Republicans was on full display. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi scolded Republicans.
Let us remember this should not be controversial. The debt limit has been a long-time bipartisan issue.
Republican Michelle Fischbach fired back.
The last 5 times Republicans controlled the House, Senate, and the White House, the current Speaker and the entire current Democratic leadership only voted to raise the debt limit one time.
The $480 billion increase in the federal borrowing ceiling is a stopgap, and Congress will have to revisit the issue in December.
Notice those higher prices for a lot of things you buy? The White House says it has helped broker an agreement it hopes will help relieve supply chain bottlenecks that are driving prices higher. We'll hear more about it today. San Francisco's struggling with widespread organized shoplifting. Now Walgreens says it will close 5 more stores in San Francisco because of the shoplifting. Actor William Shatner rockets into space today with the space travel company Blue Origin. This is AP News. Retirees can expect bigger Social Security checks next year.
Rising inflation is expected to result in a sizable increase in Social Security's annual cost of living adjustment, or COLA, for 2022. The exact amount will be revealed later today. Over the last 10 years, the Social Security adjustment has averaged about 1.7% annually as inflation remained low. But the economic recovery from the coronavirus pandemic has triggered rising prices for a wide range of goods and services. The Great Recession saw a COLA increase of 5.8% for 2009. The number for next year may rival that. Mike Hempin, Washington.
Employers are struggling to find workers. Now UPS says it'll hire in 30 minutes or less. Taking too long to hire can mean an applicant may go elsewhere. UPS is pretty much doing away with interviews. I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
It's time for a check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. In your real-time traffic, we've got, as usual, the heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway backed up all the way past the roundabout with Fire Trail, so well south of Fire Trail in the northbound lanes heading to Tawny Williams-Darling Highway. Heavy traffic this morning. Gladstone looking a little bit better for you, but still busy. About midway between Fire Trail and JFK Drive in the northbound lane, you'll notice that slow going there. Blue Hill Road also busy this morning from St. Vincent all the way up to Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road in the northbound lanes there. Building traffic on Carmichael East to Blue Hill Road at this hour as well. And we've got some building traffic on Carmichael Road westbound to Coral Harbor Road. Eastern New Providence, Fox Hill Road northbound to the intersection with Prince Charles Drive looking busy for you. And pockets along Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections. And East-West Highway, Robinson Road, Marathon Road. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. We're going to take a break and be back with more morning blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
My Gateway is the centralized, safe, secure way to access and pay for government services online. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and log in to request a police character certificate, renew your passport or driver's license, and more. Receive emails confirming requests and alerts when documents are ready. You must have a valid, government-issued ID in order to collect documents. My Gateway is fast, easy, and convenient. Go to mygateway.gov.bs and register today.
When engaging in physical activity, it is normal for the body to get tired and fatigued. In the same way, COVID-19 has brought on fatigue, but we must not give up the fight. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose, stay at least 3 feet apart from others, wash and sanitize your hands often, and avoid touching your face. Together, we will win.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
To those affected by a hurricane, the damage is far greater than the eye can see. It's the pain of experiencing damage to your home. But there are people right here that can help. We're CG Atlantic General. We're your neighbors. We live here and work here too. We're always ready to answer calls and to process your claims as quickly as possible. So when a storm turns your life upside down, we're here to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Unlock your home potential with a home equity loan from RBC and let your greatest asset fund your home improvement and personal projects. Switch your mortgage to RBC today and experience the difference with no management fees, cash back on closing costs, and step-by-step guidance from our team of expert mobile mortgage finance specialists. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/equity loan. Reimagine new ways to bank better with RBC.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Biggie Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. Add an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
officially. Big Saturday evening, Columbus lost his foot and the hand. Michael the Archangel almost bust our whole statue down. Where was the officer? He was nowhere to be found. He come up scratching the head and wondering what gone down. Michael coming, Columbus say Michael coming. Michael's here. All he sees he foot and the hand gone missing. Officer, what you see? Aye, 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 aye. What gone down? Aye, 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 aye. Where you was? Aye, 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 aye. You ain't hear this? Aye, 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 aye. Who's in that boot? Aye, 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 aye. What a phrase? Aye, 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 aye. You didn't see Michael? Aye, 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 aye. You ain't here? Aye, 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 aye. Big Saturday evening, Columbus lost his foot and the hand.
All right, we are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Chester Robards. A lot more to get to in the news. We've got some calls to get through, though. And, you know, we started off, we don't really want to have day 2 of the Columbus story. I mean, we were talking about this man and the mental health aspect to this, although he's saying he's fine. But can't be. No. But, yeah, let's, right? No?
He says he's fine.
Yeah, sure. And what we are doing, because we all know we've got somebody in our lives who probably needs a checkup, mental health checkup. And what are we doing? You just like praying for them, just like, oh, you just need a vacation. Is that what you tell them? You just need.
Why you say that like something's wrong with praying for them?
I'm not, but you right? Faith without works, isn't right? Is that,
Well,
yeah,
right.
you got to do something more too,
have
though.
to help,
You have to help. You have to help too, and so we've got to do more. And we've got a lot of this. We've got a lot of this. Chester drives on the streets where he doesn't see it. I'm very happy for him. I wish I could not see it, but I see it every day. Everywhere I go, I'm like, oh boy, look at this. What's up? What is this? Whoa, what are you doing? Every single day. And often there are children around.
Every day.
Often they're with a child. And like, what?
Well, that's...
And it's scary. And we've got a problem. We've got a big problem, and we keep ignoring this. And Sandilands is full.
Who is Sandilands full of?
That's a good question. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, Manchester.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, Dwight, I know you can end out what just call it, just talk about Columbus today, right? But I only wanted to say I believe the gentleman, I believe the Columbus had a mental problem, right? Nobody really did the evaluation on him, right? Because the type of stuff what the gentleman did, you had to been insane to do it. But now let's fast forward to 2021.
I mean,
right?
he was a product of his time, and that's how people used to think.
Yes, but he had to been insane to change.
Well, then maybe everybody then was insane because it wasn't.
They had to been insane, Dwight, because if you could actually tell people that you had the right to take people and do whatever they want to be done to them, Dwight, you had to been insane. Because those same type of treatment, right, people, let me give you an example. Columbus did what he did, and he had a statue erected inside the countries that he did what he did for over 200 years.
What now? Wait,
right?
Okay,
Right? Michael the Archangel, he broke down the statue, right? And now he is deemed as an insane man. He didn't shed 1 ounce of blood, not a drip of blood was shed. But because this is only my view, because of his complexion, right? If somebody else had gone there and knocked down, they wouldn't have been the same. This is just my view, Dwight, because this is how I see we as black people just be treated inside this country, in this world.
That's
right?
I mean, I gotta pardon all the puns here, but that's crazy. That is
right.
Crazy.
Yes, you might think, but it's only my view, right? Because at the end of the day, we do have a mental problem in this country. Nobody addressing it, right? Our former prime minister could have been a mental case. Nobody know.
Well, okay. Anyway, anyway.
What did I say, Dwight?
Yeah. Okay. Ooh.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Well, maybe we're all just crazy. How about that?
In some
right,
little way,
yeah.
somehow.
Oy. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
To your guest and to the Bahamas.
Hi.
Dwight, two questions. Question number one. I mean, we understand what Columbus stands for. We understand what he did, and all that type of stuff. I asked you yesterday. There's two places that you can put Columbus. Either one, you put him in a museum, and people come and look at it in the museum. Or, consider this. If you built a big wall inside of Foxdale Prison, write his history on the back of that wall, and put bars around the front and sides of it with that statue in there, do you think tourists would come and pay to see that? Columbus is finally in prison for his crimes? Okay. Question number two. Now, you could answer if you wish, or you could just avoid, but question number two. If I had sugar diabetes, high blood, and all kinds of underlying issues for 10 years and lived with it, and decided to go and take the COVID shot and died within 24 to 48 hours, what did I die from? Could you answer that for me, please?
I would have to do an autopsy.
You would have to do an autopsy?
Yes. Well, not me, because I wouldn't know what I'm looking for. But someone would have to do an autopsy.
All right. Even though I live with sugar, diabetes, pressure, and all of that other diseases,
it could have
for
been
10 years.
just the right moment for the sugar diabetes, as you put it, to do its thing. I don't know. That's a lot of speculation there. I mean, do you know of this happening?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes, it is. I mean, because the fact that they're saying,
somebody to whom this happened.
People who has lived with my cousin. I mean,
Which one? They took the second shot and they died the next day?
I just buried my cousin Saturday, and I mean, he died from sugar and well, he didn't die from sugar, but he had all those underlying issues.
He had all of those underlying conditions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very sad.
You see? So I don't know. I mean, it's something to think about, eh?
Well, it's something.
Yeah.
It's something. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. My parents were teachers. Did you know that, Jess?
Both of them?
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them. And a lot of people in my family. But I know why I didn't become a teacher.
Yeah.
Every day I'm reminded.
You kind of are.
Every day. You think so?
Kind of.
Well, then this explains the education system in the country. This explains it. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. I don't even know what to do. No. I don't know what to do. Let's read some messages before we go to the break. Wow. New Orleans has a huge tourism market for tours of former slave houses and estates. They don't hide or destroy history because it's ugly. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people go and look at those things. I remember I was in Jamaica and we toured a plantation. People paid big money to go and see that.
Yeah.
And we saw everything, the slave quarters, the master's home, the master's little bed, because apparently a couple hundred years ago we were all much shorter. And it was like, is this a tiny house with literal?
Yeah.
Why are they so short? But yeah, it was fascinating.
Even more contemporarily, I went to Hawaii. They talk about how the U.S. annexed the islands and caused the people who lived there to kind of be wiped out, pretty much.
Oh.
They do. They talk about that on their tours.
Yeah, man.
And America is still an American territory. Well, it's a state.
Well, we're very special. Let's take a break. We'll get into some other things in the news after the news. Stay with us.
Still unlock the door. Well, those around them criticize and sleep. Through a fractal on a breaking wall, I see you, my friend, and touch your face again.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The 13th, 2021, and you're listening to the Guardian News Network Morning Report. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Thanks for tuning in. Topping the news. Anyone who was charged with breaching the emergency order during the pandemic can now apply to have that offense removed from their police record. Rehabilitation of Offenders Committee Chairman Paul Farquharson says this applies to anyone who was taken before the court or cited for breaching the order.
The committee will deal with these matters expeditiously or as quickly as we can to make sure that we bring relief to some of these persons who have contravened or appeared before the magistrate and have been fined.
That would apply to hundreds of Bahamians who were fined or arrested for pandemic breaches like violating curfew or lockdown. They can now apply to the Ministry of National Security or New Providence or administrators' offices in the Family Islands.
In the applications, there are persons who have been fined. Even though they have been fined, there's still a record appearing on their criminal record. On the police record. And therefore, those matters also will be dealt with by the committee.
In other news, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville is not ruling out possible tighter COVID restrictions if warranted in the future, but he indicated that's not currently the Davis administration's approach to the pandemic. Jasmine Brown has that.
We feel at this particular time we are okay to the point that we do not need to bring restrictions back to where they are. But I can say this much, we're watching it extremely closely. And in the event that we feel that we need to execute more measures, we will.
The Bahamas has been struggling with an unprecedented surge in COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths during the third wave. Over the weekend, the country recorded yet another grim milestone, pushing the country's COVID-19 death toll to over 600. The Davis administration has promised to end the state of emergency when it expires next month. Darville says that is still the plan.
Plans are on the way to move the whole concept of the competent authority back to where it belongs at the Ministry of Health. We believe that we can handle measures without the emergency orders, and we will be laying regulations very shortly when we begin to go back to Parliament.
The Health and Wellness Minister added what also needs to happen is heightened surveillance.
And that is something the Minister of National Security and myself is looking very closely at because, you release restrictions and you expect people to function and to abide by the public health measures. And when we look, people are doing what they want to do.
On Friday, the former health minister called for the government to consider drastic restrictions. Even though cases have dropped, Dr. Sands pointed out that hospitals remain overwhelmed and COVID-19 infections are continuing at an unprecedented rate.
Well, I'm listening to what the former minister is saying, and we're taking it into consideration. The numbers are going down, but we do have a problem at the tertiary healthcare level, because we feel that individuals who are positive may be coming to the institution a little bit too late, and we need to try to initiate therapies before they begin to decompensate and start to have severe respiratory symptoms.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
The man accused of damaging the statue of Christopher Columbus at Government House Saturday has been ordered to undergo psychiatric testing. During his court appearance yesterday to face charges of causing damage and trespassing, 37-year-old Siobhan Barrington Smith insisted that there was nothing wrong with him. Still, Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt deferred his arraignment until she receives a report on whether he is fit to plead. That after Smith's mother told the court that he has been having episodes of strange behavior since 2019. Smith will have to wait in prison until his evaluation is complete, as Sandlands Rehabilitation Center is not accepting new admissions right now. Doctors from Sandlands will evaluate him at the Department of Corrections. His next court appearance is set for November 15th. The Supreme Court has ruled on a conflict which has divided a church in hopes of helping members select their next leader. Jared Higgs explains.
The matter stems back to a disagreement between factions of the Golden Gates World Outreach Ministries over who should be its next senior pastor. Back in 2020, Bishop Rawson Davis, who led the church since 2001, attempted to appoint his son, Trent Davis, to the post. A pastoral board made up of 7 pastors opposed the move, even disrupting a church service to get their point across. Davis hired a lawyer and claimed that the pastoral board cannot make resolutions that could determine who was appointed as senior pastor because they are not part of the church's executive committee. The pastoral board, on the other hand, asks a court to determine which members make up the church's executive committee and to examine their evidence to determine whether a senior pastor could be thrust upon the organization.
He has ruled that they must go back, and then there must be an election, and the church would then elect the executive council. And out of that council would there then be the executive committee, being the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Of course, the president ought to be as well the pastor.
Attorney Ramona Farquharson Seymour, who represents the pastoral board, says it is crucial now that the different factions in the church move forward based on the ruling. She says those who still hold the view that Bishop Davis's actions were valid are now mistaken.
As I'm advised that there are still those who hold the belief that the actions of Bishop Ross Davis, his actions in appointing someone to the position of senior pastor, is still valid. And again, I'm not getting into personalities and who it may be. Everyone knows who that is. Based on this decision, that is in fact not the case.
Farquharson Seymour says although the court found that the church operated in a particular mode, that mode wasn't consistent with the church's articles of association. She says if any faction of the church should find itself not following the court's decision, they'll find themselves back before the courts.
If the election process is not fair, and when I say fair, does not accord to the memorandum and articles, more than likely one grouping you may find will very well go before the courts and file, and then we would be in another legal battle.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.
With 34 people in Inagua in quarantine and 23 active COVID cases there since October 8th, the health minister says a team has been sent to the island to take a closer look at that outbreak.
The situation in Inagua, as far as we're concerned, is being monitored very closely. Over the weekend, there was some concerns at the possibility of quarantine not being maintained, and the fact that there's an ongoing immigration matter on the island where some of the police officers that are responsible for quarantine is focusing on that situation. A team was sent in yesterday, which is 3 doctors and a nurse, and an assessment is being done again, and my assessment this morning has indicated that it appears to still be a cluster of infection, but further work needs to be done to get the exact situation that's on the island in hand.
5 people from the island had to be airlifted to New Providence for care, and 2 people who contracted COVID in Inagua have died in recent days. 2 additional people from that island died after contracting the virus on New Providence. Darville insists that the recent spike in cases is not linked to the illegal migrants who were detained on that island before being repatriated.
There's a lot of possible scenarios. I've heard that scenario. I've heard the fact that a loved one went to Nassau to do some personal business and come back. And with these kind of infections, sometimes it may be very difficult to actually pinpoint. But I can tell you this much. It is a case of an individual who was in Nassau, or individuals that came back to Inagua and subsequently came in contact with loved ones, and we developed a cluster of infection for COVID-19.
Stay with us, there's more news after the break.
When engaging in physical activity, it is normal for the body to get tired and fatigued. In the same way, COVID-19 has brought on fatigue, but we must not give up the fight. Wear your mask over your mouth and nose, stay at least 3 feet apart from others, wash and sanitize your hands often, and avoid touching your face. Together, we will win.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
You have a new text message from Scotia.
Scotiabank is adding text messaging to its communication channels to keep customers updated in quicker and safer ways. As of November 4th, Scotiabank will be using text messaging to provide notifications on the minimum payment required for your credit card and due dates. Customers may continue to access their credit card statements on Scotia Online or through our mobile banking app. Learn more by contacting customercare-bahamas@scotiabank.com or call 356-1697.
There's a master foodie in each of us. At Fresh Market, we've provided a canvas for your inner foodie to create a culinary masterpiece. Bring your wildest food dreams to life with inspiration from our fresh meat and produce, the largest cheese selection in the Bahamas, and aisles of specialty good-for-you foods. Try making that tuna tartare, beef bolognese, or even a nice fresh avocado toast at home. Maybe even dive into your raw foods for a fresher meal. Fresh Market, where master foodies come to be inspired.
Your big day coming, what you want?
I know, but you ain't too far behind, eh? Anyhow, I want Junior to give me washing machine.
Washing machine? What you want washing machine for?
Well, since Junior working on the island now and 3 people gotta use your car, I figured we could wash right here.
You got line, eh?
Not yet.
And if you wash here, what we can talk about?
That's true.
If you wash here, how we can catch capsaicin?
That's true, eh?
And if you ain't got no line, how we post to drying if you wash here?
That's true.
Okay, so what you want Junior to get you again?
$1,600 worth of tokens. That's how much the washing machine costs.
Now you're talking, and I'll reserve the car for every Saturday.
Gone for that. So what you want for your big day?
Half of them tokens.
My lord.
So we wash. We washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
Everything is changing, and your favorite hardware and home improvement store is getting with the program. We Buy You Sell is rolling out its new online shopping feature. If you go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, it's a quick and easy 3-step process. Step 1, browse the gallery and select your item. Step 2, add to cart. And step 3, check out. Go to our website, wbusbahamas.com, to shop with us today.
Clem the gem bust up the sun eyes that day and get all frustrated up because they done closed. But he press his nose up on that glass door and clasp his hands to get in the position of contrition, and then he catch Miss Wallace's eye. She say, hey, that's Clem the gem. Dory say, yeah, that's him, and he know he done closed. Miss Wallace say, but that's Clem the gem. Let him in. He tell Miss Wallace, I come to get him a battery exchange. She say, well, I may as well lubricate your 21 jewels too. He say, Shonda! She say, I didn't know you was a church man. He say, some things that just make you want to shout.
Sunrise, number 112 Montrose Avenue. Watch and clock sales and repairs for over 40 years.
Scotiabank is giving away $1,000 to 20 lucky customers who sign up and use the Scotia app or Scotia Online. It's simple. Register for the Scotia app or Scotia Online and conduct at least 1 transaction. Or if you have not been using Scotia Online or mobile app for 30 days or more, you will receive 1 entry when you become active. Scotia Online makes banking so much easier and safer when you use it to make a transfer, pay a bill, or top up your phone. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information.
Welcome back. This country is still awaiting its next tranche of donated COVID vaccines from the United States. This as the Ministry of Health announced that dwindling supplies of the Pfizer vaccine meant they would have to suspend administering first doses of that vaccine.
The process is in play. As you are aware, there were donations of vaccines from the United States, and not only for the Bahamas, but the entire region. We are close and cannot give a date at this particular time, but we will definitely receive those vaccines.
Still, the health minister says he is pleased with the vaccine program. He was asked about plans to vaccinate inmates.
The only thing I could say is we started the process. It's a tedious process because of the security aspect, but it's going quite well, and I think we completed our first tranche, and we're looking to go back in short order to do what we have to do to get the prisons and the prisoners sorted out because they live in a tight community.
That's going to do it for local news. Stay with us. AP News is next.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Scotiabank is giving away $1,000 to 20 lucky customers who sign up and use the Scotia app or Scotia Online. It's simple. Register for the Scotia app or Scotia Online and conduct at least 1 transaction. Or if you have not been using Scotia Online or mobile app for 30 days or more, you will receive 1 entry when you become active. Scotia Online makes banking so much easier and safer when you use it to make a transfer, pay a bill, or top up your phone. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.paxbahamas.com to register.
Convenient locations, super savings, and quality products. That's super value and quality supermarkets. Pound cake 8-inch, $5.99. Rainbow spaghetti and meatballs, 15-ounce, 2 for $1.79. Olivia vegetable oil, 48-ounce, $5.29. Sweet navel oranges, 2 for $1.19. Premium boneless chuck steak or roast, $5.99 per pound. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's super value and quality supermarkets.
Introducing the new Slices and Sticks from Little Caesars, an unexpected combination. 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, only for $9. Didn't expect that one, right? Grab the new Slices and Sticks at Little Caesars Oaksfield, Carmichael Road, or East Street South in the Pineapple Plaza. That's 4 slices of pepperoni pizza, 8 Italian cheese sticks, and 1 crazy sauce, all for only $9. And only at Little Caesars.
Pizza.
At Master Technicians, we have what your family traditions need, starting with industry-best refrigerators, ranges, and ovens. We also carry Whirlpool washer and dryers, dishwashers and freezers, leading KitchenAid countertop appliances, blenders, microwaves, juicers, kettles, and KitchenAid stand mixers. We even do free delivery in New Providence or to the boat of your choice. Whether you're doing the laundry, creating new memories in the kitchen, or spending family time in front of the television, Master Technicians Limited, keeping family traditions alive for more than 50 years.
Wednesday Lampkin, let me tell you something. I's a man scared to get back in this ring. Mike Tyson is a joke to the knockout power of 2020. It is only through the grace of God and our fellow Bahamians that more businesses didn't get KO'd. We in the business community owe our survival in large part to our Bahamian brothers and sisters who, while having the opportunity to go away to shop, stayed home. That act alone saved many Bahamian businesses. And so I'd like to start 2021 by thanking each and every person for helping keep the economy going. It might be running a little slow, but once we get that new battery, everything will be just all right.
Shop for sweet savings at super value and quality supermarkets. Kellogg's assorted cereals, family size, $4.99. Rainbow evaporated milk, large, 2 for 99 cents. Campbell's vegetable soup, 10.5 ounce, 2 for $2.25. Red, green, or black seedless grapes, $2.99 per pound. Bone-in chicken breasts, $1.79 per pound. Open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. That's super value and quality supermarkets.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Win up to $10,000 in prizes to make over your business. Sign up for the Business in a Box Expert Package from Cable Bahamas Business Solutions, and you could win up to $10,000 in prizes. Contact the experts today at Cable Bahamas Business Solutions, 601-8911, 602-8811 in the Family Islands, or email businesssolutions@cablebahamas.com for details. Media partners: Studio B Production, Dreamer Entertainment, Vision Media, and Our TV. This draft.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:20, time for another check of your weather for today. Brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got the combination of an active surface trough near the southeast Bahamas and another across the northwest Bahamas that is coupled with mid to upper level troughing that will support pockets of unsettled weather and over portions of the northwest, over all of the country actually today. So for all areas, look for variable cloudiness, very warm conditions, scattered showers, and the chance of isolated thunderstorms through tonight. Some showers may be locally heavy and thunderstorms strong to severe at times. For boaters, as an advisory, small craft operators should exercise caution in swells. Small craft operators should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers and thunderstorms. Residents in low-lying and flood-prone areas should exercise caution as well due to possible flooding during heavy and or prolonged rainfall events. For today, the forecast calling for temperatures getting up to around 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 70 Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. In your extended outlook, rain chances will diminish across the area after Thursday, resulting in a drier weather pattern into the weekend. So for Thursday, partly cloudy and warm with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms. Friday, partly to mostly sunny and warm with a chance of a few stray showers. In the tropics, we've got a surface trough of low pressure producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms over Hispaniola, the Turks and Caicos, and the southern Bahamas. This system has a 10% chance of tropical cyclone formation through the next 5 days, so that's expected to move out into the Atlantic over the next few days away from all of us. That is your Morning Blend weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And we've got another check of your weather, of your traffic for this morning. In your real-time traffic, things are looking a little bit better on Mile Butler Highway now. It's eased up a bit, but backed up along Tawny Williams Darling Highway, so we suspect it's being assisted by a traffic police officer, so keep that in mind there. And so you're going to be waiting longer if you are westbound on Tawny Williams Darling Highway at this hour. Gladstone Road busy for you from just above Fire Trail Road in the northbound lanes all the way up to JFK Drive. On Blue Hill Road, it's very busy from south of St. Vincent Road all the way up to the roundabout with Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road. You'll be seeing that. But near St. Vincent and Carmichael, heavy traffic for you. Further south on Blue Hill Road, near Cowpen and Zion Boulevard, the intersection there is very, very busy, especially eastbound on Cowpen Road this morning. Independence Drive is backed up westbound to that roundabout with Blue Hill Road in the westbound lanes. And the roundabout with East Street, East-West Highway, and Independence Drive is busy this morning as well in multiple directions. East Street challenging for you this morning, especially in the northbound lanes all the way up to East Street and Robinson Road intersection. And then in Eastern New Providence, we've got some traffic on Fox Road northbound to Eastern Road and westbound on Eastern Road up to about Johnson Road. And further south, Fox Hill and Prince Charles Drive, heavy traffic there for you this morning. Those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
school. If all were there when we first took the pill, then baby, miracles will happen as we speak. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. No, we're never gonna survive unless we are a little.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards on this Wednesday morning. And that is definitely the theme of what we've been talking about so far this morning. Crazy, just some unbelievable things being said and texted to us. It's just wild, wild, wild. And I do have to wonder what you all hear on this show. When maybe you think the callers, some of you are thinking the callers are me?
Huh?
Because I don't understand. All right, here's a text, everybody. Prepare yourself for this one. Brace yourselves. You black people do not respect anything. Those statues were there for hundreds of years. They are a symbol of our past. It has nothing to do with black people. So respect other people's history and leave the historic stuff. Black people have no historical heroes because we do not know our own history, and all they want to do is tear down the legacy of other people. That is stupid and ignorant. And they continue. On second thought, Dwight, you are a talk show bully. You want to control the narrative and hang up on people who don't follow your conspiracy theory. What? Get out of here. Columbus discovered the New World and discovered travel routes for shipping mariners to use up to this day. You want to be black American, go live in America.
What?
What in tarnation is going on here? What's this all about?
I don't get it.
I don't understand. Maybe you aren't hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying while I agree that the Columbus statue doesn't have to be in front of Government House, I'm saying we cannot hide from the history. We have to tell the story, all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. I've been saying that forever. It is what we have to do to abandon, I've said this before, to abandon Discovery Day for National Heroes Day when Majority Rule Day should have been National Heroes Day. And you all know it's true. Is crazy for the country where this all happened. And you don't have to get hung up on what discovery means and who could discover something that was already there. Yes. Please stop that silly argument. I've been saying that. Now, I don't know where you just came from, Dexter. I can tell you that you need to go back under that rock and stay there forever. But you're not listening to anything that's being said by us on this show at all. And you've just revealed your own very serious hatred issues. But good for you. And good luck to you. But anyway, okay, but please, folks, I don't know what's happening. You're not hearing what's going on here. Okay, we need to move on from this because this is not getting us anywhere. It's only going to get people worked up and angry and...
People? Or you?
Stressed out.
You're going to get more worked up and angry?
Demotivated and concerned about everything. Well, this text here, what's going on with the water tower? Government needs to start working on opening it up.
That's what that private entity is supposed to be doing. Renovating and opening it back up.
See this now? See, I did I say this? This is what a caller said. So you all can't determine the difference between. So now I'm.
That's what you must have to like really say first. This is a text message.
But that was a call too.
I will
the caller said
to read. Well, that. Yeah.
But they. Also, any call that's the morning blend with Dwight Strachan. That's what he said.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
They get it twisted.
This one says, clearly both of you have a problem with unvaccinated people.
Who? What?
Respect other people's decisions, bro. And besides, it's not a vaccine. It's only a booster shot because you can be vaccinated and still contract and spread the COVID-19 virus. So why take the shot? You're a hater, bro, to the unvaxxed. This person says the Germans don't celebrate Hitler. He's not taught in their schools. Well, maybe he should be, if that is the case. I don't think you're right, but I'm sure they cannot avoid World War II and what happened and what led to that. So I don't think you're talking sense. Now, they may not have statues of Hitler in front of their parliament, and right? Because that would be crazy.
They do tours of concentration camps and tell you about what happened there. They know who did it.
There's been a million documentaries and movies about it. So stop.
What are these people talking about?
Again, you're making a very good point. There's no statue of him in front of an important building. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, he was much more contemporary than Christopher Columbus, I guess.
Okay. I love the caller's suggestion on Columbus being finally in prison for his crimes. What do you guys think about that? That'd make
He's
international
gonna be
news.
imprisoned in a museum.
A statue. He's going to be rolling in his grave. They've put me in prison. A statue of me in a prison. How? Yeah, that would mean a lot. Okay, I agree with the young man. Columbus must have been a crazy man, and we need a psychiatric evaluation on all politicians, especially prime ministers, because of what they say and do. Okay, this isn't getting us anywhere. Let's move on. All right, so concerns about COVID. Former Minister Sands has been talking a lot about this. He's been calling for a change in policies because of the frequency in deaths. As you've noticed, we might not have large numbers of new cases.
Right.
Not as large as they were maybe a month or so ago. But the number of deaths being confirmed now, even though there seems to be a little lag. These are going back to September and the beginning of the month.
Right.
But every day it seems to be 4 or 5 confirmed deaths. Some days even more, right? But people are dying. That's the big headline in the Tribune. People are dying in droves, according to Sands. And so we're hearing that. We're hearing the stories. Lots of people are dying. So the new Minister of Health was asked about this. Are you going to change any policies based on what's happening here? Take a listen to this report from our Jasmine Brown.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville responding to the former health minister's call for the government to consider tighter COVID restrictions. Dr. Darville says, while that's not currently on the Davis administration's agenda, officials won't rule it out if it becomes necessary. Jasmine Brown has that story.
We feel at this particular time we are okay to the point that we do not need to bring restrictions back to where they are. But I can say this much, we're watching it extremely closely. And in the event that we feel that we need to execute more measures, we will.
The Bahamas has been struggling with an unprecedented surge in COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths during the third wave. Over the weekend, the country recorded yet another grim milestone, pushing the country's COVID-19 death toll to over 600. The Davis administration has promised to end the state of emergency when it expires next month. Darville says that is still the plan.
Plans are on the way to move the whole concept of the competent authority back to where it belongs at the Ministry of Health. We believe that we can handle measures without the emergency orders, and we will be laying regulations very shortly when we begin to go back to Parliament.
The Health and Wellness Minister added what also needs to happen is heightened surveillance.
And that is something the Minister of National Security and myself is looking very closely at, because, you know, you release restrictions and you expect people to function and to abide by the public health measures. And when we look, people are doing what they want to do.
On Friday, the former health minister called for the government to consider drastic restrictions. Even though cases have dropped, Dr. Sands pointed out that hospitals remain overwhelmed and COVID-19 infections are continuing at an unprecedented rate.
Well, you know, I'm listening to what the former minister is saying, and we're taking it into consideration. The numbers are going down, but we do have a problem at the tertiary healthcare level, because we feel that individuals who are positive may be coming to the institution a little bit too late, and we need to try to initiate therapies before they begin to decompensate and start to have severe respiratory symptoms.
Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Okay, so a likely ramping up in what we're seeing here to protect against more numbers and more deaths, we're in an interesting place because of the need to get the economy back on track, to get things back to normal is so great. And a lot of what was promised before, what an uncomfortable position to be in. Let's get your views on this, folks. Do you think that there needs to be a tightening of some of what's been loosened because of those numbers? Or, as people say, we need to just live with this, continue to live with this, and continue to encourage vaccination, continue to encourage people to adhere to the protocols? What needs to happen?
You said it.
Yeah, okay.
It needs to be a combination of all of those things, right? I mean, we can't go back to 2020. We can't go back to March 2020.
323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Caller, good morning, you're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Let's take the other one. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Yeah, okay, they've moved on. Continue to call in, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Morning, Chester. Trust both of you are doing well this morning.
Yes.
Just before I touch your question here, Dwight, just like to comment on something in the previous segment about the monuments. Where is the position of the Antiquities and Monuments Division? Wouldn't these statues basically fall under their purview? Shouldn't they not have already spoken to the publicly to the possible intent that they may have in moving these statues and perhaps putting them in a safe location where tourists and locals alike can go and view these statues if they so desire? These are some of the things that the public needs to hear. Now on to your point.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, obviously, if they had some different views, the statues would be somewhere else.
Well, this is what I'm saying. We are not hearing the discourse, the public discourse, and as you can notice quite easily, the public is adding their voices into this conversation. I believe that this is something whereas now we're trying to promote the voices of the public into some of these things where when decisions are made, they cannot say that they were made in a vacuum, but it got all the parties concerned to add their voices to bringing about a possible solution. So that is one way to get the public involved. Very quickly here on the COVID matter. I have yet to hear in terms of any positive resolution to how we as Bahamians living on this island can first and foremost cope with COVID, but using the natural elements that surround us. How about the promotion of people going to our beaches, taking these masks off, which I'm going to tell you, somewhere down the road, you might find that some people may get lung cancer by the prolonged wearing of these masks, and actually going to the seaside, breathing in some of God's fresh air, getting rid of these masks, going swim in the sea, and see how these things go. But we are not even hearing about the natural elements that surround us that can help to promote health as far as we as a people are concerned. All the focus is on the negative elements of COVID. What about the positive elements that we can help to besides the nutrients and the vitamins and stuff that we are encouraged to take? How about the natural stuff God has given us to promote that aspect of it, to get our people out of the houses and actually on the beaches to enjoy the fresh breeze? Thanks for taking my call this morning, Dwight.
Okay, don't go yet. I mean, people keep saying this, but who do you want to say this? I mean, you're saying it, and others are saying it all the time. Would you need to hear the Minister of Health say it, or what?
Well, let's put it like this, Dwight. You remember during the last Prime Minister, and this is something that the people have been speaking about from the last administration. We have been talking about allowing the people to go onto the beaches, allow the people to get in the water. You see the late stages that just open that up for people to get onto the beaches when we have been crying for it almost from the beginning, because some of us have seen some of the, especially after doing research And after hearing some of the people in other quarters talk about the possibility of fresh air, we have the ability of fresh we have some of the best waters in the world, but yet we were not encouraged to utilize them. In fact, we were told to stay off the beaches. So now it's coming full circle. And I think now the conversation need to have, especially if we can have some people among us who are scientists.
But remember now, we don't leave off the important part. What it was congregating. They were afraid of people getting into big groups and having beach parties. That was the issue. Not that the sun and the salt air wasn't good for you. It was that they were afraid of people being in groups and letting their guard down. So that part can't be forgotten.
Well, let's look at two parts for that, Dwight. And I don't want to prolong it because I know you may have other callers. The thing is, that is, congregation is something that is natural to human beings. We can't dismiss that. Having the relevant persons on the beach, like one time we used to have beach marshals or whatever. These persons, why have that division stopped? Why don't we have beach wardens? We could actually have persons stationed on the beach that if you're not a family member to this one or whatever, keeping the numbers down to a minimum, keeping safe distances and everything. That is possible. I mean, you don't want to rule anything out or be naive into thinking that persons won't attempt to congregate. But the bottom line still is the benefits. I'm looking at the benefits. We control the crowd part of it. But I'm looking at the benefits of getting our people healthy and getting ourselves back to some sort of semblance of normalcy, even though we believe that activity is not even achievable anymore. We have to look at all these aspects. Once again, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. All right, let's take this other call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Doing well.
The reason why we're having a high spike in COVID really is that the authorities are not really doing their job properly. Because if you look at a business, if a person catch COVID at a business and they are still allowing employees to come to work, not having that place sanitized properly by a professional company or by someone, you see, and that's the problem. We're not going and saying, okay, this place is where you catch COVID or this where you were here. We found out that this, what happened here, you need to shut down and have your place sanitized properly. Also, that stuff what Jeff talking about wearing masks, if the doctors in the hospital wearing masks basically 24/7, I don't see nobody catching no cancer in the lungs and all that sort of stuff.
What now? What was that last part you said?
No, he said that people are catching cancer in the throat by wearing these masks, by inhaling that air. Doctors wear masks in the hospital every day. People who work in the hospital wear masks every day. They're not catching I didn't hear nobody catching no cancer or getting sick from wearing no mask. And then when we go out as human beings and as proper citizens, we need to know our distance and do the right thing. That's what we need to do. We don't need to have we got people who want to jump up in people's face, giggling and carrying on. And we can't do that no more. We cannot do it anymore. We're going to kill our families out.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Well,
yeah.
that's it, right? I mean, the problem is people are still shirking the rules and getting too comfortable, wearing their masks under their noses. I mean, look at the swearing-in ceremonies. I saw an older lady. She took her mask off after the ceremony was done, and there was that huge crowd in the foyer. She took it off.
Yeah,
she was just chilling.
Yeah, that happens every day. Every day. Something you said though. The thing about the offices, yes, I hear you, and we have to sanitize and clean everywhere we are, our surroundings frequently all the time. But this continues to evolve, what we know about COVID. And remember the thing about the surfaces and how that we thought it was, and then you had to clean the surfaces immediately, and then they were trying to backpedal on that and about how you don't need to do that as often and you don't need to use bleach and all this stuff because after a few hours, remember? So it keeps changing. And so while you could freak out that they didn't shut down the business because they had a couple people with COVID in there, what we know now is that you don't have to get that extreme with it.
Yeah.
Right. So make sure that you sanitize your workstations, and you might want to keep your mask on all the time you're in the office. I know some of us get comfortable and take it off around the colleagues we know and like.
Right.
But you might need to keep it on all the time. But yeah, we're still learning. And that's scary for all of us. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Glenn.
Hi, good morning.
I heard the last caller say that the mask can give cancer. If that is the case, then why would
But
why would the nurses and doctors wear it?
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true.
And there should be a high level of cancer because of that.
And
furthermore, I think I know the gentleman just spoke about that. His mother was a nurse all her life.
Yeah, let's not repeat it. That obviously, and I'm sorry I missed that. That must block that out because it was so crazy. But yeah, that's, oh my goodness, what's happening? So that's not true. That's not true. Don't say that. Don't even tell people you heard somebody say. Don't, because they'll think that's. Yeah. Good morning. Okay. What is today's date? What's going on? October 13th, 2021. This is an unusual day. Let's read some messages. Okay. Dr. Darville and crew will not do anything just to appear different from the previous government. Additionally, how could he complain that people will do things they want to despite being in quarantine, and yet they are now inviting people to apply to be acquitted from breaking COVID laws? Crazy bro. We're going to get to that in a second, but I mean, some of those were a little over the top, right? And that's going to be a permanent record because you went to get water.
Yeah.
Or something insane like that. Should that be the case? Yeah, people who went partying and were driving down 2:00 in the morning for fun, that's a different story. But some people had some real issues. They had to go to see family members, rescue family members, to go and help people, and they got into big problems, and that doesn't seem fair.
Yeah.
I wanted to move on from this, but let me read this one. Solution here: Dwight put Columbus somewhere surrounded by statues of Arawak warriors in postures where they're about to kill him. See, bap, problem solved. Wow.
There you go.
If only.
There's an idea.
If only they had. If only. Hey, it's not all doctors, but first, it was Minutes Now, Michael Darville. These men botching. Oh no, okay. That's not necessary. Come on. There's no enforcement. There were tourists walking on Bay Street with no masks. There are also businesses where patrons are not wearing masks, such as nightclubs, bars, which have mainly young people. Check out the plaza opposite Saunders Beach. But that's happening because they are drinking and eating, and so. But I do hear you.
Yeah.
Let's take this call before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, Dwight. Chester. I'm sorry I had to call back to clarify a point that one of the callers had mentioned. I did not state that wearing masks would cause cancer. My statement was possibly aimed at the prolonged usage of the different type of masks that people wear. Blocking of the air passages and so on and so forth. To make the comparison between the doctors and nurses in the hospital wearing those masks, you have to understand that they actually wear them for a certain period of time. They are in a sterilized environment, and so therefore they may not be impacted at the level that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the prolonged usage. I watch some people wear masks from the time they come into work until the time they knock off because of the stipulation in the place. I am saying over the long term, there has been no test, no treatment, no nothing to even determine the effects that wearing the mask over a prolonged period of time, whether they can damage your lungs or what type of impact that it has on your system. That's all I was mentioning. I didn't say it's going to cause cancer or anything. So I just wanted to clarify that point. Thanks for taking my call again.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break. When we get back, we'll look into that issue with folks who have a record now because of what was going on last year with the emergency order violations and what they can do now to get this off their record. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
I'm in a state of ecstasy. I'm happy as can be. This must be the greatest thing in life to have you here with me.
Hurricane season is here.
Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC Financing. Drive home happiness with RBC Financing affordable packages. Experience the RBC difference with up to 100% financing, extended repayment terms, and step-by-step guidance from a team of mobile experts. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/autoloan. Reimagine Auto Wow with RBC.
Hurricane season is here. If you're not prepared, it can really turn your life upside down. Fortunately, there's CG Atlantic General. Our people are here ready to assist at a moment's notice, with protection like alternative accommodation for those who are displaced due to a storm. It's our priority to make sure you have what you need when you need it most. So when your life gets turned upside down, we can help to turn it around. CG Atlantic General. Good like that. Security and General Insurance Company Limited, trading as CG Atlantic General. Contact a CG Atlantic General broker today.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
For 38 years, Strachan Commercial Pest Services has provided trained certified technicians while using environmentally safe, industry-standard products. Pests can devastate your business. Together, we will ensure adequate sanitation standards and safe pest exclusion methods. Uncontrolled pest problems lead to significant financial loss due to food contamination, business disruption, and stock waste. Strachan provides detailed solutions protecting your business and reputation. Strachan, #1 in pest control services.
Physical distancing isn't the same as being socially distant. I know that sometimes it can be a bit difficult not being able to engage in the in-person social activities that we did before, whether that be going to the movies or just hanging out in person. But remember that different does not mean distant. As the generation of technology, we can get creative in planning virtual parties with friends and family. Play online games with friends. Plan virtual family parties. Start a cooking competition among cousins, or do a virtual dance party. If you do gather in person, however, remember to avoid gathering in large groups. Always ensure that you wear your mask to cover your mouth and nose. And remember, wash and sanitize your hands often.
This message is brought to you by the PAHO WHO Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Country Office, the Ministry of Health, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Have you heard about the COVID vaccine raffle? If you are vaccinated against COVID-19, you can enter to win amazing prizes like food store gift certificates, hotel stays, beach excursions, and so much more. Even if you are previously vaccinated, you can still enter to win. The COVID vaccine is free, safe, and protects you from severe COVID-19 infections. Don't delay. Get vaccinated today and enter to win. Visit www.vaxbahamas.com to register.
People helping people to help themselves. All right, watch this. The credit union of the Bahamas, drop card ain't got nothing on them. There's the plug. People helping people to help themselves. Don't believe me? Join the credit union and watch your money grow like Chef and Needle. Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings. Yeah, go join one. Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make. More what? Stop that. Credit unions are smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings. Let me get my money there. Credit unions are smarter choice. More money you make. Join a credit union. Watch your savings grow with higher interest rates. Become a member and purchase some shares. Then ownership is coming your way. They offer local banking members the owner. Personalized service. Come and join the credit union and your choice will be the smartest. Credit unions are the smarter choice. Higher rates on your savings.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Chester Robards. It is time for the drawing for today's Bahamas COVID vaccination raffle. We've got two great prizes today to give away. Two great prizes, and they're going to be two great winners. And will it be you? Remember, you can register for this. It says log on to vaxbahamas.com if you are fully vaccinated, partially vaccinated, vaccinated abroad, whatever. Go on vaxbahamas.com and you could win. We've got prizes going on, as you heard yesterday from the U.S. Embassy. We've got prizes going on for weeks to come. Weeks to come. We're aiming for 70% of the population to be vaccinated.
Wow.
We've got a long way to go, but that's what we're aiming for. So we've got prizes. Prizes and prizes. Here are the prizes for today. We've got a Grey Cliff gift basket with wine, chocolates, and cigars.
Nice.
That's very nice. Yeah. Wow. And we have a $50 Blanco gift certificate. So two fantastic prizes. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. You going to do the drum roll for us today, Chester? No. Okay, wow, boy, I tell you.
Mouth a little dry, I need some water.
No, you could beat on the table like a parliamentarian.
Oh,
wow. All right, so let's give away the $50 Blanco gift certificate first. Oh, you didn't have to put the mic on the
killed the
table.
microphone.
Oh, that's gracious. Okay. You could do it. We'll hear it. Do it. Yeah. All right, there you go. And for the prize one, the $50 Blanco gift certificate goes to Janet McPhee. Hey! Janet McPhee, you've won a $50 Blanco gift certificate. Congratulations, Janet McPhee.
Congratulations.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. And then prize two, the Grey Cliff gift basket with wine, chocolates, and cigars. Oh, boy. And the winner this morning Marion Stewart.
Hey.
Marion Stewart.
Congratulations, Marion.
Marion, Stewart, Stuart. You are the winner of the Graycliff gift basket with wine, chocolates, and cigars. That sounds like a lot of fun. So congratulations to Janet McPhee with the Blanco gift certificate and Marion Stewart with the Graycliff gift basket with wine, chocolates, and cigars. Great stuff. Great stuff. You could win tomorrow.
Excellent.
Sign up, vaxbahamas.com if you haven't already. All right, we'll do that tomorrow. We're going to take a break. When we come back in Morning Glen Business, more of what's making the news. A lot to get to this morning, as we said. Stay tuned for that. We're going to be right back.
Let's celebrate. It's all right.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Government now expects to receive about 57,000 additional doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine by the first week of November. That from Minister for Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, who says they are not worried about running out of COVID vaccines before that new shipment arrives. Acknowledging their supply is dwindling, the Ministry of Health has suspended first doses of the Pfizer shot and will only administer that vaccine as a second dose. Dr. Darville explained that is to ensure they can provide the necessary second dose required for full vaccination. In other news, still not confirming whether he will try to hold on to his job as F&M leader, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis says he will be guided by God on his political future. The belief by some in the immediate aftermath of his party's crushing election defeat that Dr. Minnis would step aside and allow a new leader to be selected has now given way to speculation his supporters could still nominate him for the post. When asked about that yesterday, Dr. Minnis told the Nassau Guardian to stop listening to gossip. He insisted his main priority is helping the F&M return to power. That party will meet at convention on November 27th to elect a new leader. And the man accused of damaging the statue of Christopher Columbus at Government House has been remanded to prison to await a court-ordered psychiatric evaluation. During his court appearance yesterday to face charges of causing damage and trespassing, 37-year-old Chevandes Barrington Smith insisted there was nothing wrong with him. That even though his mother told the court he has been having episodes of strange behavior since 2019. Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt deferred his arraignment until she receives a report on whether Smith is fit to plead. He next returns to court November 15th. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. We expect to hear more today about this. The U.S. will reopen its land borders to travelers next month, ending the pandemic freeze. The AP's Julie Walker.
The Biden administration says the U.S. will reopen its land borders with Mexico and Canada to non-essential travel next month. This will end a 19-month freeze due to the COVID pandemic. All international visitors will need to be vaccinated. Vehicle, rail, and ferry travel between the U.S. and Canada and Mexico has been largely restricted to essential travel, such as trade, since the earliest days of the pandemic. The new rules will allow fully vaccinated foreign nationals entry to the U.S. regardless of the reason for travel.
Later this week, the president's expected to sign a bill increasing the nation's debt limit. But Congress has approved only a short-term increase in the debt limit, so it will have to deal with this again in December. I'm Rita Foley.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, October 13th, 2021. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning we're going to continue with what's in the news and any of the business and economic aspects to it as well. We had a late cancellation of a guest, unfortunately, but we're going to pick up with what else is in, as we promised before the break, to talk about this. Many people were impacted and felt the pain from this, convicted of violating emergency orders and major fines. And according to some of the reports, because someone couldn't pay a fine, they actually were imprisoned. And now the time's come for the possibility for these to be these convictions to be expunged from their records. And many are pleased to hear that. For more on this and what was discussed yesterday, take a listen to this report from our Taylor Ferguson.
The application process is now open for anyone interested in having emergency order breaches removed from their police record. Rehabilitation of Offenders Committee Chairman Paul Farquharson says it applies to anyone who was taken before the court or cited for breaching the orders enforced during the pandemic.
The committee will deal with these matters expeditiously or as quickly as we can to make sure that we bring relief to some of these persons who have contravened or appeared before the magistrate and have been fined.
Hundreds of Bahamians have been fined or even arrested for numerous COVID breaches, including staying out past curfew or during lockdowns and selling goods like coconut water on the side of the street. They now have the opportunity to apply to the Ministry of National Security on New Providence or the Administrator's Office on the Family Islands.
In the applications, there are persons who have been fined. Even though they have been fined, there's still a record appearing on their criminal record. I mean, on the police record. And therefore, those matters also will be dealt with by the committee.
Our Taylor Ferguson with that report there. All right, what do you make of all of this? So we got a text earlier that suggested that essentially that this is how we allow people who break the law to get away with it. Essentially, that's what they were saying. I'm paraphrasing greatly there, but that if you break the law, that there should be consequences, and that this shouldn't be allowed. But again, some of these people were doing things, they weren't out there having fun. This was for their livelihood, or they were for survival even. And there was a zero tolerance approach in many regards, it seems.
Could you look at the law also as an arbitrary law, that it's about to go away if they get rid of the emergency orders?
And that if that goes away, then these should go away
They
as
should
well?
go away as well.
But then, oh boy, it's dangerous though, right? I mean,
I don't know.
No, I mean it certainly happened in some other sectors that immediately popped to my mind, where certain things became legal that weren't before. We are talking about doing that with marijuana as well, right?
Yeah.
So
and people will be able to get their records expunged.
Yes, and so I guess you're right. Let's hear what you have to say about it, folks. 323-6232.
Like you say, times change.
Times change. That's been the theme all morning long,
Yeah.
right? What was acceptable 100 years ago, 400, 500 years ago,
Can't
you
be doing that
cannot do
now.
that today.
Yeah.
And that is the way of the world, and that's also a sign of progress.
Yeah.
Sometimes not, but most times. And we evolve, and what was acceptable is no longer acceptable.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. And what we're doing now that is acceptable won't be acceptable in even 100 years, maybe 50.
Imagine so.
My goodness. 325-4316, 325-4259. Can you imagine this? He was back in 2020. He was a talk show host. My God.
They let people speak over the
How
airwaves?
could they? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
All right, good morning. Two questions. One is a question and one is compliments. Paya, alias Max Paya, birthday is today, the 13th of October, 1952. He's 69 today. And also myself, I want to wish him a happy birthday.
Oh, okay. Happy birthday. Yes.
All right. And the second question is, are we going to be relieved from this, not mask wearing, the COVID, that we can do what we want to do if you have the 2 double shots?
If you're fully vaccinated.
Yes.
Not exactly. Not exactly.
So the church wouldn't be open to the public.
There will be restrictions.
There will be restrictions.
There will be restrictions. I'm sure it won't be the way it used to be.
I thought that the restriction would be lifted.
Lessened, not as tight as they used to be, but there'll still have to be the
Will we
physical
have to see?
distancing.
So if they remove the emergency orders, the Ministry of Health is still going to have some kind of say on what we have to do in terms of this as a society.
You're asking some really good questions because we don't know. We don't know, and we're going.
The reason why I asked the question with the church restriction, I drive the church bus, and for 19 months now, I was out of a job.
Oh, dear
19
God.
months.
Wow.
I'm 69, and that was my livelihood.
Wow.
And you know, it is very important to me to know what's going on with the church.
Yes. Wow, that is rough. We will all find out as soon as we know. We'll let you know, definitely. But we'll know in a few weeks as the emergency orders are set to end in just a few
Thank
weeks.
you very much, and you have a nice day.
You as well.
We
Happy
pray for
birthday.
you, and oh boy, that's tough. We hope there's a solution. I hope
Yeah.
your church is looking after you. I hope your church is
probably
doing something for you there. Yeah, those are great questions, and we're going to do a show on this in a couple of days. In fact, I'm going to look back at the legislation that was proposed, which many of us were already rolling our eyes at. But to see if there is anything in there that could possibly become a law that wouldn't be challenged, and what if it gives us any insight into what we might hear from the current administration on the direction they will go in using legislation to govern this stuff. Which I think is going to be challenging, right? Because can you tell the church that they can only have so many people in there? Can you really do it? What are the reasons? If it's no emergency declared, but you just want a gentleman's order agreement, basically, that you're going to space out this like this.
Right.
Can you do that? You can have limits as to the number of occupancy limits. I guess maybe they'll do that for everybody then, right? That if your building is this size, you must have a percentage of people.
Right.
I don't know how they'll do it, but that's going to have to apply to everything.
Yeah.
We prepared for that?
We have a choice?
Black Friday sales, Christmas shopping in the supermarket. You're going to have to stand on lines outside.
Stand on lines outside,
Are you prepared for that?
Yeah.
Because we have surpassed the occupancy for the size of this building. You can't come in right now.
They've already reduced the amount of carts in food stores.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Well, that was intentional or just
I think
people
so.
stole them?
Well, geez.
Oh.
I don't know if you're going to be walking down the street with them carts.
Oh, okay.
From where I sit.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot to think about there. And and it's coming. It's going to come late, right before Christmas. And our business is thinking about these things.
Yeah.
You're about to say something. I can see it.
Yeah. Also, because I'm sorry I have to bring this up because I didn't feel the pain of that RBC $20 decision until recently, and I have to say this, right? It is crazy. Yesterday, the credit card machine wasn't working in the food store, and I had to go get cash.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that some of the machines only give out $100 bills, while others give out hundreds and 50s.
Well, I guess if they don't have 50s, you'll only get 100.
If they don't have 50s.
Right.
No, but some machines only do
That's
hundreds.
it?
Only do hundreds.
That's crazy.
And I was at the machine.
Put a big red X on that one so people can see.
I was at the machine scratching my head because it kept telling me that I was asking for too much money and I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah.
I was scratching it's a bad decision. I haven't said it publicly, but now that I've lived it, it was rough.
I've been telling you about this for a little
It
while.
was rough.
Right?
Yeah, and I wrote the story, but still, my problem is the if the infrastructure for swiping your card is improved,
yes,
everywhere,
right,
then maybe they can make the decision,
right,
and maybe banks should be helping to improve this infrastructure. I mean, they own the equipment.
Let me tell you, there's so many things to keep in mind. Every time the power goes off, I notice that many companies tell you their credit card machine isn't working.
Right.
Right? So that knocks it out for a number of hours. There are places that the card never seems to be working.
Yeah.
You only want to get enough to pay for that $14 thing that you've bought.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to withdraw because you do use your card, perhaps, right?
Yeah.
So what is happening here? It's very strange.
The other thing that happened was they swiped the card. The machine said that the transaction didn't go through. But I opened my app and the money was taken off.
So you did pay in cash
and the money
goodness.
was, but then it was fixed later on in the day. I didn't even have to call the bank, which was very strange. And so banking here is rough.
Mm-hmm.
Customer service that I've received with business banking too. It's been rough with RBC.
So we do hope our friends at RBC, and we do appreciate you
I love
very
them.
greatly.
I mean, I've been with them forever.
Yeah,
right.
But
It's been rough.
I do think you need to reconsider this one. This one is odd, and other competitors are allowing you to withdraw smaller denominations.
I think so,
which is amazing, right? So this one is perplexing. Again, maybe not as for the reasons that Chester says. The challenges that you have using your card
around the island everywhere.
That this is not working. Oh, we have a problem. Something's up. The electricity. Because of those reasons, we can't do this right now.
Like help them, but even if they help them to implement some kind of backup system, something else. I know it exists, right? Whatever it is, that could help customers not get the frustration level there. Because I had to leave my groceries in the store, right, in the cart, all packed up to go walk to the bank.
Oh boy,
it's frustrating.
Yeah, that sucks. Definitely.
Yeah, in some cases, I think it's the infrastructure. I mean, obviously it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because people have the machine where you punch in the thing, and then there's another machine that looks just like a swipe machine that's next to it. And you, what is this? It looks like caveman swiping equipment, right?
Yeah, that's
compared to what we see when we go away.
Right, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
So help us, help! I'm crying out from here.
Wow.
Every bank.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
So who is responsible for that regulation of the banks locally?
That would be the central bank, yeah.
Okay, so what are they saying about this stuff at RBC?
I mean, with that, I don't know if you can make them do something.
What I'm asking, if this was in another country, whichever entity deals with that would have been dealing with them. Because do you think
sure?
that is fair for a bank to say now you cannot take out small denominations out of ATM? Because when you take out a larger amount, they can charge you. So who deals with that? This has to be some system, right?
Well, it's a good question to be asked. We could ask the central bank. I don't know if anybody's complained to the central bank.
I think you need to
somewhere.
complain.
Well, it's not even. It shouldn't even be a thing of complaint. They should be monitoring them things.
Well,
and
it's a
checking with
business
them.
decision. I mean, the bank could not even provide ATMs. That's a business decision they could make, right? I don't know if they'd be forced to, but...
Well, let's put it like this. You think they could do that in another country?
Yes, I do.
But
a couple other countries.
But the thing is, customers will be more vocal there. Bahamians have a tendency to just accept it and be like, oh my gosh. But others will say, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to take my money and go to another bank. And then that influences the decision more than anything else. And so you need very vocal customers here who will stand up and complain and carry on.
I think at some degree we should hear from the central bank about that, or someone should be asking that question, why don't we hear from them?
We'll ask for you.
Because a lot of people, that's causing a lot of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It looks like local banks could do pretty much whatever they want to do, and they can't do these things back at home. Okay, maybe because of competition. But then at still some point in time, whatever agencies, government or consumer protection-wise, are going to step in and discuss with them. They may talk to them on the sidelines, but it's not just going to be you do whatever you feel like. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe we should try to get a way to hear from the central bank. Let's hear what they got to say.
Yeah, okay. Chester's going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a
We'll
lot.
look into that.
Our
We'll look into that.
senior business reporter here at the National Guard, Chester Robards, will get right on that one.
Yeah.
All right. 323-6232.
I'll lodge the first complaint about
Yeah. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, so we're a little all over the place today, talking about COVID and restrictions and banking restrictions as well, it seems. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good. I'm calling about the issue with the bank. I went to pay my mortgage this month at CIBC, but last month I went there, I paid. It was no charge. But this time around, they trying to charge me $6 or $5.66 for the deposit, and that made it insane. I really don't understand.
For the deposit? You're depositing where? In the bank or at the ATM?
In the bank. The teller told me any deposit over $1,000 is a charge of $5.66.
There's a recent change?
I don't know. I really didn't ask because I was in kind of pain. And what he told me, I could go to the ATM and do it, but if I have to do it inside, it's a charge of $5.66. That's the IBC.
Yeah. Why didn't you go to the ATM?
I went to the ATM to do it, and the ATM wouldn't take the money. Tried, but 5 to 6 times, it keep on pushing the money back.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Now, I went back inside to get some crispy bills, some new bills, and did the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And it's frustrating, you know?
Yeah.
I know they're really trying to dissuade people from using the services inside.
Yeah.
All of the banks doing that.
But at this kind of time, to charge someone $5 on a time was already hard on a mortgage payment it's incredible.
Yeah. Again, they ask us to go digital and do more of this, but it's the infrastructure. The infrastructure that they have for us is crummy.
But speaking of digital, you're not on online banking?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I mean, I use it, you know, but I had an incident happen to me, and it kind of it's scary too, you know. This online thing. Yeah, because
it's tough.
It is.
Thank you very much.
All right,
you know, we've done these shows with the banks before, and they're very big sponsors of the show. We appreciate them all. Don't get angry about the discussion. Just tell you what people think. But they do tell you the cost of doing business is very high, and they have to find ways to pay for their staff and pay for the buildings and pay for the electricity and pay for all these things.
Yeah, but that's understandable. And people's habits are changing, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to carry cash, and I hardly do, right? And especially now, I don't. You know, they talk about the safety of not carrying cash.
Right. Yeah.
And now there's a bank that's only giving you big money to carry around. Why?
Very, very odd. Oh boy. I wonder which week they did that survey on when they said that only people only withdrawing. It was not a week when I was anywhere near an ATM.
But my frustration is more with the equipment and, again, the infrastructure, because it frustrates me when people are like, "Oh, our machine is down." It sounds some kind of cop out to me, because I feel like if I go away, and I never heard anybody say that. Never heard anybody in a store away.
Never once.
And I'm not just talking about the U.S. I'm talking about other places I've gone.
Yep.
Jamaica. Mm-hmm. Or the machine down. What?
Never.
Not even.
Never. Wow. Very odd.
Trinidad.
And then the companies here that intentionally don't seem to get the machine fixed, right? You come back 2 months later and it's still not working. So this is just how it is here. You all don't accept cards.
And then some go, "Oh, it's slow." What's slow? The internet's slow? The machine's slow? What is this?
I was going to say something terrible just now.
No, but
hold my tongue.
It's the reason my card didn't go through.
Yeah.
Because she said, I think the machine is down, but I'll try it.
I have been at an establishment where, I mean, they had to jerry rig the thing, like the plug. They had to like stick it in,
twist it,
hold it down, stand on it, so that it could go through. Push it in now. Oh gosh. Yeah. So I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And something has to be done. Right. I don't know.
I don't know if they're not investing in new machines. Maybe. I guess I gotta ask.
Yeah, they need to check into that because the infrastructure, as you say, is horrible.
Yeah.
And frustrating. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Morning.
I thought getting money traditionally would have been the thing of the past. We still getting into transfer money by wallet and what have you to our cell phone.
What, sorry, say that again. What?
I thought traditionally going to the bank with a thing of the past and transferring money.
Well, not everybody.
Going to an ATM. I thought we would get into the wallet and stuff on our cell phone.
Well, it's the uptake of that thing, especially wallets, is going very slowly.
Yeah, I know that. Why is that?
I mean, there are going to be times when even though you might do most of your business online, there are going to be times things happen, like the caller was saying. Things happen and you need to go to the bank. Yeah. But it shouldn't be the biggest hassle in the world if you do have to do that. And
no, it shouldn't be. All over the world, especially even in Africa, they know that but no bank no more, no ATM. They do the shopping, everything by their cell phone.
Yeah, they have big digital wallet infrastructures over there that work.
But are we going backward?
No, the banks sure ain't going backwards.
No, I mean, but when would we get into that digital? Because I know private companies, they are trying, like Pay and other companies.
Yeah, and they're doing it, and the central bank talked about their digital currency that people have been slow to use it, and they're going to start trying to get more people to use it. So
it's the public, it's not the companies. It seems the public just have to not be afraid. So many people tell me how they don't trust online banking and they don't trust paying things with credit cards.
Online banking, right? We're talking about the different from the online banking going on your computer. We're talking about actually paying
everything. So that tells you, and online banking is simple and traceable. But so if you don't trust that, then you definitely are going to be paying stuff online, right? So all of it, and we've got an issue.
I haven't seen much. I haven't seen nobody with their cell phone snap their payment in the food store. Go to the food store, snap it. Have you seen that? I say I'm not. I'm in the United States, Africa. Why you saying that?
Well, that's another story. Just that might be a story too, because things like Apple Pay, you can't hook your bank up to that here yet. At least not the ones we use.
But that's sad.
It is sad. It is sad.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's a big story. We need to figure out what's going on there between the central bank and the commercial banks. And
but you need to investigate what's slowing it down.
Yes, that's a good story. Thank you.
And now we can speed it up because this is very. I'm surprised that the Chamber of Commerce is not on this.
Well,
is we going backwards? Because right now I wanted to order something. Right now I had a job, and you can just download this app and send the money directly to you.
Yeah, that's a good. Thank you. We're going to look into that. That's especially as the holidays approaching. That would be a lot of convenience there, and we wouldn't need the ATM. It wouldn't matter to you much if you could get the 50 or the 20 or the 100 or whatever it is, right? If you could do those things, that would help. So who's the? We'll find out. We'll look into that one definitely, if it's the central bank or the banks, or is it the companies with the apps? No. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Okay, let's take the other call there. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Hey, good morning again, Dwight. Dwight, listen, is this thing designed to make the small man spend everything they have? Because, when you break $100 bill and everything, that's gone before you even realize it's gone. So, I mean, it seems like they're pushing you to deal with larger sums of money because it's an encouragement for you to spend, what it is you have. And then for those who don't have it, if you have $49 on your account, how could you get $50 out of the ATM? You know, I mean, so it's kind of crazy the way we're going. It seems like you said, they're pushing us to online banking because first and foremost, they start closing the majority of the branches. You can't get in a bank. They're trying to discourage you from coming inside of the bank and everything. And now, you know, they're taking away the smaller dollar bills from you, the smaller, like the 5, the 10s, the 20s, and forcing you to take either 50 to 100 off. You know, it seems to me like it's kind of a funding control thing to me, you know, and to encourage people to get whatever larger funding they have on their account, take it off, and once you break it, it's gone. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I don't like it because it puts me in a position, you know, to where you have to be walking around with either $100 bills or $50 bills in your pocket and stuff. I'm a businessman also, you know. So I mean, when they're encouraging you to take that kind of money, say for instance, if I'm trying to pay my employees, okay, and my payroll, say for instance, my payroll is, you know, $700 or whatever have you, or $510 or whatever have you. Now I have to go and take off more money than I really need to make my payroll because guess what? They're making you take off larger amounts. So for me, it's an inconvenience, and I think they're supposed to be in the position. I think it's supposed to be a convenience for the citizens, but they're making it a convenience for them instead of it being a convenience for you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks. You know, there are some banks in the States that don't have one iota of a physical presence. Some people do not know anything about bank branches because their banks don't have a branch. They're all digital and online.
I was thinking that while I was talking. I mean, that's one thing I don't really miss. Going inside the bank for stuff.
No,
right?
I don't miss it.
that
And I don't do it often.
Yeah, very rarely. But the other, I totally agree with the others. The other stuff you said, this is an odd policy to have.
Yeah.
Very odd. All right. Let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Sparky here.
Hi, good morning.
You know, they tell us it's a new day. I just pray to God this is a new day because I've been listening to the callers this morning, and it's really becoming, you know, it's frustrating, especially this situation with Royal Bank. I've been dealing with that bank practically all my life. Most of us, our first bank account was with Royal Bank. The government's bank account was Royal Bank. As of late, with all these technology changes and everything, it's like I thought this was supposed to be making life easier. I mean, Dwight, the other day, let me explain this. I have a pension that's still paying off a mortgage, but majority of my pension goes to the mortgage corporation, for example. And then there's a balance that goes to Royal Bank for me to do my little cash stuff. So the other day, I'm in a westerly direction. I opened up my account to Royal Bank in Prince Charles, up by Kentucky, and, you know, up the road there. Now, every ATM I stop to is telling me I can't withdraw X amount. And it's not giving me no reason. All of a sudden, this happens. So every ATM on the way to Prince Charles, I stop and I keep getting the message. Then when I get the ATM to Prince Charles, I got to get through a security, 20 people on the line, but only 2 tellers working. I got to go through all of that to get this teller to ask the gentleman, why can't I take $40 off my account? That's all I want to take off my ATM account. I can't get it off. He tells me there's a new policy. I said, but you didn't inform me about your new policy. I said, well, did you know? He said, they just told us. He said, I want to take off $40. I cannot take off nothing less than 50 or less than 100. I said, but you didn't tell me about that. You inconvenienced me from way out west. I got to travel all the way to Prince Charles to find out from the teller that the bank got a new policy. You inconvenienced me. You're not making it easy for me. And aren't the people working in Royal Bank, aren't they citizens also? Do they have to go through the same thing that they put us through?
Well, of course. If they go to the ATM.
So who's making these decisions? Which ones of our leaders, whether it be religious, political, social, bankers, Who's making these decisions that are making life frustrating for the people?
Well, that's a private company, so they explained why they did it. They said they monitored what's being withdrawn, and that rarely do people withdraw $20. So they said.
So they say, you know how much people began just to take $20 for gas in the car?
I think that's all I do, $20. I don't withdraw much more.
Maybe they mean nobody asked only for $20.
And maybe those bank managers or those, maybe they're the people that normally take off $300 and $400 at a time. Because the majority also they can hardly buy corned beef. Because hardly find $20 to go get corned beef and grits.
Yeah.
They don't live the lifestyle as the poor do. So they don't know what we're going through. And plus we got to pay, put gas in our car to stay on these long lines. The more you stay on these long traffic lines, the more gas you burn in your car. It's got to be a conspiracy for the gas companies too. Have a good day.
Okay. Well, we're hoping that we can get them to rethink the policy. Just there might a little misstep there, a little maybe they checked it out at a holiday weekend when people were like looking to big spending weekend or something, But
you know the real reason I don't like cash and I prefer to swipe,
germs?
Because I keep my I keep my change. Over the years, can you imagine how much money you've lost in lost change? When the central bank got rid of the penny, they talked about having lost a couple million in pennies. They don't know where it's gone.
No, I have about half a million of them.
But plenty in the sewer system. I mean, 10 cents, 5 cents. My couch probably got about $20 of change over the years, That's money you've lost.
So this is why you don't like cash, you say?
That's why. That's one of the reasons I don't like cash.
Interesting.
Okay. I don't like change. I don't want.
I know. Yeah.
And then I lose it.
It's bulky.
I lose it and I've lost money.
It's upsetting. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Chester. Hey, Dwight, I don't know if you was paying attention. This is really, I don't really fault this up too much, but there's a guy called John McAfee who's an online expert and invented the antiviral detections, right?
Yeah.
And so, you have to immerse yourself so much in it. Like I myself, he explained how hackers out there just continually looking for people and praying for people, and there's so much intricacies into that. I follow up the science, right? But Chester, what I'm saying is, about 2 years ago, right, there was a demonetization in India. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was about 2 years or more. You didn't remember that?
Okay.
No.
In which they took away certain numerologies. I think it was 20s and 50s, right?
Yeah.
And it affected people in rural areas, and I mean, there was a lot of people like dying really from not getting food and all that.
I remember.
So they really knew the repercussions of this. So what I want to say is we're being duped. We know the power of the gangsters, right? And so what happened is this is all designed for panopticism. So there are advantages and disadvantages of the digital system, and the governments over the world can use it to withhold your services for many different reasons. But this is based on panopticism. Now, I want to Justin answer me. About a week ago, I think some of the governors in the states, respectively, opposed this new implementation that Joe Biden wants, where the IRS will monitor any transaction over $600. This is actually in the newspaper over there. So this is the type of world we're coming to, just in trying to explain it to Sparky. So they don't really care about you or what people think, right? I haven't used the ATM in months, but I just go and use it to keep the account active, right? But if I go in to deposit, even though I'm a poor, I still go to try to deposit maybe over $500 and make a substantial deposit as I go, and then sometimes people will write me a check. But this is becoming scary because it's all based on control, and we don't realize it. And so as I listen to John McAfee, I started to listen to him more because he designed these softwares. And for someone like me who's not well versed in this field, it doesn't look good. I use the credit card, right, Chester?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, only thing I have a problem with the bank was I was in a store and they said the card wasn't working. So I didn't know. Back in the days, you never said to update them every so often. So I think 2 years and then you got to go do it over, right? But the bank didn't let me know that. I don't use it every day to know that, and I was kind of embarrassed because they say, well, it was only a couple of, maybe like over $100 I was spending, but like it didn't. I was saying there was money on the account. Why is it that? You understand what I'm saying? So this is something that you have to do, and then when you die, this money, if someone who have access to your money, you got to go through all these foolishness to get. So the bank do have the upper hand on the public, and I think the central bank, it can't just be teethless or powerless. Bless up. Have a good day.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We've got a lot of questions for the central bank, and we're gonna see if we can get some answers about it. Yeah. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, more on what you have to say. You've got a lot of messages here about this. We're going to get into all of that. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. Well, I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. Said I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. And if I share with you my story, would you share your dollar with me?
Boy, why you look so mashed up like clothes at the washer?
No, boy, just a hard day, boy.
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and gritty.
We need to start joking about everything, you know. This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life and junk, you know.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody gonna know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from inside the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you, and your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau, or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
You have a new text message from Scotia.
Scotiabank is adding text messaging to its communication channels to keep customers updated in quicker and safer ways. As of November 4th, Scotiabank will be using text messaging to provide notifications on the minimum payment required for your credit card and due dates. Customers may continue to access their credit card statements on Scotia Online or through our mobile banking app. Learn more by contacting customer care-bahamas at scotiabank.com or call 356-1697.
It's time to celebrate the good in our people. They do their best just to help everybody. They show good character by their good deeds. Lend a helping hand to everyone in need.
Join us on October 20th as we celebrate Character Day. Visit characterdaybahamas.org for more information. Be the reason.
Be the reason now. Be the reason. Show your character.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Laws Adjusters.
Final watch of our traffic flows this morning, and there are a few significant delays that are happening in the streets at this moment. However, also something wonderful is happening where the folks through Samalabala Highway are finally out of there. There's been assistance given in the roundabout there at Tonics-William-Darling Highway. They're holding up the west lane of Tonics-William-Darling, allowing Samalabala traffic to flow, and that corridor is pretty much empty. Of course, you've got some delays along Tonics-William-Darling west lanes, but that will clear in a matter of moments. Still got hefty traffic lines leaving Gladstone Road at this point and coming out of Carmichael Road. It's working. It's consistent. Even though there is a traffic line and a build-up there, getting over the hill of Blue Hill Road, you still got your little significant delays getting over. But once you get into the Tonics-William-Darling roundabout below, it's pretty good. Over on West Bay Street, you've got that morning traffic flow heading into the city, so it has slowed down a bit along West Bay Street riding into the city. Easton Road, traffic congestion, it's there. They've got a Lacey line of traffic all the way from Fox Hill intersection heading along Easton Road into the Shirley Street area. Those are the listing of significant areas on the island that have the hefty traffic jam. However, within the inner city area, we see the gradual buildup because obviously there's more traffic on the road now. So getting through the traffic light at the intersection of Wolf Road, Soldier Village, and Bernard Road is a little bit slow because of the morning congestion. Coming along Prince Charles Drive, you get some minor slowups happening there. And inner city Wolf Road, minor buildup, so the traffic is slowed down there a bit as well. This National Traffic Report, a service of Jess Johnson. You're invited to check out their online service center app. There you're able to view your policy details, check outstanding balances, report a claim, and more. Sign up today at JessJohnsonOnline.com. With your right in sky look at traffic in real time, I am VANN.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential loss adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle in a slip and fall. Prudential saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential loss adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance, Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau, call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAL, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
It's time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The request for proposals process for the redevelopment and management of Family Island airports has been put on pause for now. That's according to Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Tourism, Aviation and Investments, Chester Cooper. The Minister administration began the process of obtaining a company to upgrade 9 Family Island airports through a public-private process. Up to the end of September, the Department of Civil Aviation had intended to issue requests for proposals pre-qualification before the planned start of the bidding process in November. But Cooper says a deeper analysis of the plan is needed to ensure it lines up with the Davis administration's public-private partnership policies. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development's global minimum 15% corporate tax is not on the front burner of the government's agenda at the moment, according to Attorney General Ryan Pinder. The OECD announced over the weekend that 136 of its 140 member jurisdictions have agreed to the G20 OECD inclusive framework on base erosion and profit shifting to reform the global taxation system, which calls for the implementation of a minimum corporate tax at 15%. Pinder says although the previous administration agreed in principle to support the proposal, the new Davis administration needs to review precisely what the Bahamas has committed to. A new World Bank report explains that countries in Latin America and Caribbean are experiencing a recovery, though without taking off, with the bank holding to a 2% gross domestic product growth for the Bahamas in 2021 and growth of 8% in 2022. The World Bank's data shows the Bahamas' GDP growth slowing to 4% by 2023. The bank explained that many Caribbean countries are in the low end of the recovery slope due to their heavy reliance on the tourism sector for revenue inflows, and given that COVID-19 greatly debilitated the tourism industry on a global scale. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, your market movers, Consolidated Water moving unchanged, actually, at 237, and Emir Incorporated unchanged at 1137. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,097.50, unchanged. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
I mean that I reap what I done sowed. Hey, hey. Well, let me tell you something. All that glitters ain't gold. Hey, hey. It's been a long old troublesome road. And I'm looking for somebody come and help me carry this load. I need a dollar, that's what I need. Hey, hey. Well, I need a dollar, that's what I need. Well, I don't know if I'm walking on solid ground, 'cause everything around me is falling down. And all I want is for someone to help me.
We're back here with Morning Blend Business. Dwight Straw along with Chester Robards. We are talking about life in the country after COVID and banking, the woes that we're seeing. And I think a lot of this is being exacerbated by the pandemic as well. Right?
Yeah.
So the banks really don't want you to come inside, really trying to limit that there. But
People
still,
in general don't want you to come inside.
Right. But still, these long lines, people still feeling they have to.
It was funny you mentioned Christmas. I don't remember Christmas last year, but was it still bedlam out there on the streets? I didn't go Christmas shopping, so I don't know.
By November, we reopened up, right? So
Right.
things had calmed down by then, and
Yeah.
Christmas continued like that. So you didn't have the lines. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? If you remove the emergency orders and you expect laws to control what happens, I mean, this is going to be interesting, right? So, I don't know. But of course, everyone agrees that the emergency orders have to end. This has been far too long now. And we will see. We will see. All right, so we've got a lot of your messages. Let's see if we can get through these. Someone says here, oh, man, what just happened? The central bank needs to help the consumer. But you, yeah, sure, perhaps. Of course.
So they are regulators.
Right? Yes, absolutely. But we do need a real consumer protection agency, and one that's not so dependent on the government, and that it can be independent and can really call out companies that are doing foolishness.
Yeah.
And when the ones that we have are so tied to the government that they don't seem to be fully independent and are cautiously walking a fine line, it seems.
Yeah.
And that's not helpful to anybody at all. Anybody at all. We do appreciate the work they're doing, but we do need somebody to be more vocal and to really call out and make it clear when things are happening.
Yeah.
When there are recalls, when there have been local reports of people getting hurt or there being unreliability issues. We don't have that. We don't have that type of resource here at all. Nobody knows. You're flying blindly in every purchase, and it's crazy. People spending a lot of money, more than you would if you were in the U.S. for items and for services here, but you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah. Is there a model for even like an advocacy group anywhere?
You mean model outside the country?
Yeah.
I'm sure. Well, we've had little startups here and there. Little groups have started and they faded away. We've had at least since I've been in this field. It's been 20-something years, right? There have been at least 3, I want to say. One that was but it was a one-man band, the first one. And then
I don't know if the Chamber of Commerce has some kind of arm. Maybe they should consider one.
No, it can't be them.
Maybe they should consider
It can't
one.
be them. They're the business people.
Of course they are, but they still should be able to.
You're gonna. I don't want trust is the wrong word, but you're gonna trust the consumer agency that's tied to the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, they also are consumers.
Yes, of course.
And so they use each other's businesses as well, and may suffer some of this. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's worth a try for them. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Listen, I've seen a company go to war with one of their customers over a complaint on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, that happens all the time.
A public war.
All the time here.
And I'm like, do you know what you're doing to the reputation of your business right now?
They don't care.
They don't?
No.
I'm like, is this a real business owner? Because I would never go to this shop after seeing what they did online.
They don't care. Go away. There are other people who will come here if you don't want
It's
us.
crazy.
Yeah. This is a very consumer unfriendly market.
Yeah.
And the government doesn't help. The government seems to bend over backwards for businesses, and that's more so than consumers. More so than consumers.
You know, sometimes I think about this, and I often worry that they even set the tone for the way these people interact with other people. We are the customer, in a sense, of the government. They treat us however they want.
Yeah.
Same thing happens.
Yes.
In private business.
The government of the Bahamas is the largest employer in the Bahamas, and that always is going to influence behavior, right? In the U.S., where you see large employers, people follow the Amazons and the Walmarts, and right, back in the day, it was the car companies and Ford and GM, what they used to do with unions and how they treated them and how much they used to pay them. That influenced and built the middle class, and that other companies followed suit. And so if the government is treating everybody poorly, well, not in the best way sometimes, private companies will follow. And that's the challenge we have in this country. And of course, the government often comes down to politics. And so if you're in the right party, you'll be treated a little bit better than the others. And so that's a very sad state of affairs there. Let's take these calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your co-host. My slipping mind. Just quick thing. There's opportunities for what you talk about advocacy group as more as the Bahamas mature. The problem is that we are so digitally consumer-based that we don't understand the power of the crowdsourcing of information exchange. So it's the 10 to 20 year delay that we have in adoption of technology as opposed to consumption of it. But when you talk about even for banking, for the mere fact that banks are almost obsolete in the Bahamas, it's just that we just don't utilize the things that is there, such as the sand dollar coin and the what do you call these wallets and such, which basically covers the unbanked, which will be almost 100% of the country if they learn to use it with less than a $40, $50 device. And so the problem is that we don't have aggressive education platforms that bring us into the 21st century for the use of technology, for the enhancement and development of the country. We just continue to consume. And so that's where the conversation has to shift to waking us up to the potential, more so now that it's post-COVID. The world has moved at least 12 years ahead. So if we were 10 years behind, we're now about 25 years behind. So we must adopt or die.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. This final call right here. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Strawn. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning.
Beautiful, and your guest.
Yes, good morning.
I just need you to, my concern, grave concern, as it relates to the banks, the authorities are really the ones who are responsible for what's really happening in our country. For example, our legislators, our government, and also our regulators, the central bank. I don't know if you would be familiar, sir, but we have laws in place to ensure that the banks and other authorities and businesses do not get over on people, especially the Bahamian people. There is a Section 21 of the Banks and Trust Regulations Act, which refers to charges for accounts to be by agreement, and it states that no bank shall directly or indirectly charge or receive any sum of money for the establishment, maintenance, or service of an account unless such charge is made by express and specific agreement between the bank and the customer. And you know why the banks are just, let's say the denomination $50? That's because they can get even more taxes from you. Example, stamp tax, example, the VAT tax. It's the government and the central bank who is allowing.
Yeah, but with the opening of your account, you probably signed on to agreeing to that.
Well, like I said, it's specific, but it does not just say it's for the establishment maintenance or servicer. Service can can mean deposit, service can mean withdrawal. You realize that when you take out a certain amount of money, let's say $50, and you have a maybe 12.5% VAT on that, sir, do you know that's like about $6-7? The banks are getting over on us because of our legislators and because of the central bank, the governor of the central bank. And Mr. Roberts, you, sir, respectfully need to investigate this.
Okay. All right. Thank you
That's a
very
very
much.
interesting point.
Yeah.
Very interesting point.
Yeah, well, I'm a lot to look into today, definitely.
But you're not charged on the amount of money you take off. You're not charged VAT on the
Right,
amount of
no.
money you take off.
No. But there's a stamp tax, right?
Yeah, there is a stamp tax.
Yeah. All right. Quickly as we go, someone says, just do what I did to the bank. I went in the bank and told them I need smaller money. If enough people do the same, the bank may realize this was a bad decision. But they had a policy, unless they reversed that, right? That you could only deal with a certain amount inside the bank. Did they change it now since the ATM?
You mean withdrawal?
Yeah.
I
They were
don't
directing
remember.
people to the ATM
Right.
unless you were dealing with a certain amount, I think, I want to say. It was, I can't remember what
Well,
the
they
amount was.
charge you for
Right.
doing anything at the teller.
Yeah, exactly. So, boy. We got a lot of your messages. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get to all of these. My goodness. Right, they not charge VAT on that. Sure. But, yeah, we got to be more vocal. If you have issues with all of these things going on, we just can't sit back and take it as consumers. That's very important. And keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You've got to be vocal. And if not to them, there's a regulator out there for most of these companies, and go to them or come to the media. Any one of those, but we've got to do that. All right, Chester Robards, thank you so much. You got some work to do.
It was a pleasure, yeah. Give me some
okay.
work today. That's good. I like it.
And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.